Hello, everybody, and welcome to our webinar today. I'm really glad everybody could join us. So I don't do a lot of these evening webinars, but I try to make sure that I can do them as everybody in time that you guys are available. So we're going to go about 90 minutes today, but there's a ton of information. We're going to go over a lot of 2019 not tricks, but tactics that you guys should be using and things that are going to be changing with building business credit this year, and really diving into more than 10 secrets that you need to know to build business credit with Dun Bradstreet. Now, this isn't only going to be Dun Bradstreet today. We're going to be talking a lot about Experian, a lot about Equifax. I'm going to show you how our clients do this. Okay, I'm going to walk you through and show you the vendors and all the stuff that our clients are using to succeed as well. But this is the stuff that you need to know, especially the big changes with Dun & Bradstreet that will affect the way that you build business credit. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Ty Crandall. I've got about 17 years now. This will be my 18th year in the finance industry. I speak about this topic worldwide. So I'm invited to places all over the country. I think I go to I don't even know. I literally do not even know where I'm going, but I can tell you over the next 45 days, I'm taking a trip to 4 different states to speak. So I talk about this topic all over the place. And I've also published the 2 best-selling books on credit: Consumer Credit, Perfect Credit; Business Credit Decoded. As well as that, as I'm seen as a business credit authority with news stations, podcasts, radio, TV, including Forbes, Entrepreneur. As a matter of fact, we were just named one of the best entrepreneurial companies for 2018 by Entrepreneur Magazine here at Credit Suite. And I also oversee the largest business credit partner division in the USA. So what that means we put people in the business to offer business credit financing as a service, and then we service all of their clients as well as our own. So I think we've now surpassed 20,000 people that we've helped build business credit just in the last few years alone. Now, I don't tell you all this to brag. I only tell you this because if we're going to spend 90 minutes together, I want you to know that I have the experience on the topic that we're going to be diving into. We're going to be talking about a lot about business credit building. On the personal side, I live in Florida and love the state. I have an amazing family, and I'm always doing something cool or fun. My biggest hobby is flying, just so you can kind of know who I am a little bit as a person, but I'm typically spending a lot of time with my kids at Disney. We were actually there just this weekend, about an hour and a half away. And whenever I have time to myself, I'm doing something radically crazy to itch my adrenaline rush that I constantly am dealing with. So what we're going to cover today, enough about me. We're going to talk about how to start building business credit with Dun & Bradstreet from scratch. We're going to talk about how to get business credit linked to your EIN, not your social. We're going to talk about how business credit can help you build your business regardless of personal credit. We're also going to be talking about how to get your payments reported to Dun & Bradstreet so your PAYDEX score can actually increase. Okay, and on top of that, we're also going to talk about what is PAYDEX, why you should care, how it works. Now, we're going to talk a lot more beyond this, and I think I'm going to slip something in here later that I didn't plan on doing, which is introducing you guys to a brand new way to build business credit and add initial accounts, build initial business credit by taking accounts you already have and adding them to your business credit reports. Didn't think I was going to get into that today. Still not 100% convinced that I'm going to, but I think we'll be diving into that as well. Now, I see a lot of questions rolling in. Okay, so that being said, I will get to your questions at the end. Okay, we are going 90 minutes. I want to make sure I get to all the content we're going to talk about. And the reality is 90% of any questions you're going to ask now or during this, I'm going to cover during the webinar anyways. So my request is save your questions till the end. I will try to get to as many of these questions, if not all of them, as possible. I'm known for spending 30 minutes to sometimes 90 minutes after the webinar just here to answer questions, so I will get to them. But there's just no reason to ask questions that we're already going to get to, so just keep that in mind. The other thing I want to talk to you about is that you will get a recording of this webinar until you stay to the end. It's that simple. Okay, you don't have to stay through the Q&A. That could run a lot longer, but if you stay till the end of the 90 minutes, we will send you a replay tomorrow afternoon so you can go through that at your leisure through a video and play it. But so just to let you know that as well. So again, if you have any questions, just save them to the end. I will get to those. I will make sure that they're addressed. So look, let's start with the obvious. Most people that try to do what I'm going to teach you to do fail. And it's because a lot of people are still trying to go to the bank to build their business, to get financing. Okay, a lot of people don't realize that they can get funding based on their business credit, not their personal credit. A lot of people don't know the steps to build business credit as well, or don't know the other places to go to get financing. A lot of people don't know the secrets to building business credit with Dun Bradstreet, and they don't know other ways to get funding. So this is where a lot of people just fail to get money in their business. And the reason I bring this up is because this is all stuff that we're going to be talking about as we dive in today. So are you in the right place? Well, if you want to know how to start building business credit with Dun & Bradstreet, as well as Experian and Equifax, then that's exactly what we're going to be diving into. If you want to know how to get business credit cards without the personal guarantee, or get business credit cards without a personal credit check, we're going to elaborately discuss that as well. If you're looking to get financing for your business, if we have time and with your permission, I'll dive in and talk more about financing at the end and show you a bunch of financing options that can work. And if you're looking to get the most amount of money for your business at the best terms, well, that pretty much is exactly what we're talking about today. We're going to talk about using business credit as a vehicle to get money, okay, and how to do it through Dun & Bradstreet. And then we're going to talk about how business credit's helping you get the best terms on the money you get, because business credit radically determines how much you're going to get approved for, the rates and terms, and if you'll get approved for financing or not. So all those things will be topics that we'll be diving into today. So let's start with the basics. I always like to jump in for those people that aren't that familiar with business credit. So when we talk about business credit, what we're talking about ultimately is credit that's in a business's name. Okay, so what we're doing is building a credit profile for the business's EIN number, and then that credit is in the business's name, and it's based on the business's ability to pay. So once this initial credit profile and score is established, then what happens, the business starts to qualify for revolving credit, right? Office Depot, Home Depot, Sam's Club, Costco, Dell, BP, Walmart, and then even escalate to Visa cards, MasterCards, American Express, auto vehicle financing. I'll teach you how to get all of it today without the guarantee and without the credit check, okay? And the business then becomes more fundable, because as you build a credit profile for your business, that's exactly what lenders and credit issuers are using to determine if you should get approved or how much money you should get or the rates and terms. So again, whenever we talk about getting money with no credit check, people are skeptical, but keep in mind what we're doing here. What we're doing is from the foundation, building a credit profile for your business, especially with D&B, okay, because they're the biggest reporting agency out there, 10 times bigger than the next closest, which is Experian. Then use this credit profile to do what credit profiles are supposed to do, which is use it to help qualify for more credit. The more credit you get, the more credit you get, right? That's the same as consumer credit. The more credit you get on your credit profile and the more you use, the more you qualify. The higher the limits get, the more types of credit become available. Same thing here. So we're going to dive into this and decode how you can build this credit profile from scratch to then qualify for those type of accounts. Now, a lot of benefits, as you can imagine. One is that business credit has no impact or effect on personal credit. There's no impact on your consumer scores. Look, 30% of your consumer credit score is utilization. So if you're using personal credit cards to fund your business, which is never what they were intended to do, then typically you're going to discover the dirty secret that all of us business owners know, which is that it costs a lot more money and takes a lot more time to do anything when you own a business than you intend it will do and take. So what happens is a lot of people use their consumer credit cards to fund the business. They well surpass 30% utilization. They start damaging their consumer credit profile and score. Then they try to get money and it's too late. I don't want you to make that mistake. Look, if you leave your credit intact, save your utilization, put those cards on the business credit profile where utilization doesn't matter, you keep your personal credit intact to be able to get more funding. The other problem is that inquiries on your business credit report can radically impact your ability to get other kinds of financing. So there's one kind of financing I'll introduce to you today, for example, that you could lose $25,000 to $50,000 in potential funding just because you have one or two extra inquiries on your credit report. We don't want that. Inquiries are like gold in our world. Okay, I don't even get consumer credit cards, period, at all. They're all in my wife's name. They're all in my wife's name because I won't use the inquiries on my personal credit to get a personal credit card. I know the value of them for the business, so I save them. So again, with building business credit, there are no inquiries because we're not pulling personal credit and you're not having credit report on your personal credit reports. So you can max this credit out and it won't adversely affect your consumer scores. Now, it's also not based on consumer credit quality. Remember, we're building an initial credit profile for a business, then we're using it to get credit. So because the business credit profile is being used and not your personal personal, there's not even a credit check. So since there's no credit check, and again, they're going to ask for your social now in 2019, I'm going to teach you exactly what you need to do to make sure that you meet the requirements that the government now has for identification, but yet don't give out this guarantee or credit check. So that way you can get the credit without even having your consumer credit even looked at. There's no personal guarantee. That's why I'm here. None of us expect to fail. I stand in front of large audiences and ask that question and nobody raises their hands. But what's interesting is that more than half of those people will fail and none of them even see it coming. That's the statistics. I've been there. I've been at the helm of a business that everything was rocking and rolling, doing great. And then the Great Recession occurred and completely put me under. I guaranteed everything in the business and it completely knocked me out personally, financially. And here's why. Two mistakes that came with this. One, I used my consumer credit, had credit on my consumer credit report that was used to fund the business. When the business started to falter and I went late on that, all of my consumer credit card companies immediately lowered my limits to what I owed. So because I went late on something in the business, because I let that report on my personal credit reports, all this hundreds of thousands of available credit I thought I had available to pull through a tough time immediately went away. And then guess what? When all my limits became what I owed, my credit scores tanked, my ability to get more money was ruined. Like that, overnight, the fact that I had credit report on my personal report that I was using for my business knocked me out. To make it worse, I personally guaranteed the debts for the business. So as we started to default, they literally came in our bank account and wiped out all the money we had. Even we had checks written against the money. It was all gone. All the checks bounced, all the money was gone. We had ourselves with no ability to recover with credit, and all the assets, liquid assets we had were completely gone. It was done. Pushed me almost to the way of personal bankruptcy, foreclosures, repossessions, the worst of everything, completely could have been avoided if I just wouldn't have provided a personal guarantee and if I wouldn't have got credit that reported on my consumer credit report that I used for my business. And now that's why I'm here. I am an advocate. I will not stop until I tell everybody that will listen how this process works so you can avoid that pain. So don't personally guarantee things in your business if you don't have to. We're going to talk about today how to get around that, how to build your business credit really fast. I mean, you're going to immediately be able to get new credit as soon as we are done in this webinar, even during this webinar, and about 4 to 6 months to complete the process. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're doing this even with education, it can take you years. I'm going to talk to you today, especially as we get towards the end, on how to condense this process and get it done where our clients are getting it done in less than 6 months. And it's also important to do this because anybody can see your business credit reports. It's not like consumer credit where somebody needs your permission. Nobody needs your permission to pull your business credit. So the problem with that is that the problem with this is that prospects, clients, competitors, potential investors, anybody can see your business credit reports. So your business credit reports are a little bit to do with the actual ability to get loans and credit lines, and a lot to do with your credibility, okay? Because anybody can see it. So when you look at your report, it reflects your business. You want to make sure that it reflects that you have a credible business, especially since anybody that may do business with you can actually impact it. Obviously, it gives you greater borrowing ability. Only way you can legally create two credit profiles, legal or commercial and consumer, and limits are way higher than consumer credit. Look, consumer credit was designed for consumer purposes, okay? I got off the phone with American Express today, and we're raising our limit to $100,000 on our Amex card. There's no credit card in this world that I need as a consumer with a $100,000 limit. I would never spend a fraction of that on credit cards, but I spend well more than $100,000 a month on our Amex bill just on advertising. So again, businesses have a much greater appetite or need for capacity for credit. This is why limits on business credit accounts are 10 to 100 times higher than consumer credit. So if you're used to getting $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 limits, in our world, you're getting $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 plus limits. It might sound ludicrous to hear, but it's completely logical if you think about it. You may never need to spend 10 grand at Dell on home computers, but you every bit could spend that money on putting computers into an office. Businesses have a greater appetite for capacity. That's why the limits on these accounts are so much higher per SBA. Getting approved even when you can't get a bank loan. In order to get a loan at a big bank, you have to have good credit, cash flow, and collateral. To get alternative lending, you need credit, collateral, or cash flow, one of them. Business credit's the only funding option that exists where you don't need cash flow, credit, or collateral. It works for anybody. Anybody can get it. If you have a business in the US, you can get it. Doesn't matter if you're a nonprofit. Doesn't matter if you're a real estate investor and high risk where nobody else will touch you. All these variables that get you denied for loans, none of them are applicable to business credit. Anybody can get it if you know the formula, and even startups. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And it obviously gives you great access to loans, credit lines, and that's what gives you the money you actually need to fund the business, to grow the business. Okay. You can also get this mention as long as you have a business in the US. You could build what I'm teaching you today for multiple businesses. You can get it as a nonprofit. You do not, and you should not, waste money on trade lines, buying trade lines and shelf corporations. Please do not ask me that in the Q&A. Just don't. Because buying trade lines will get your credit profile red flagged and shut down. That's the real result in the business world, different than consumer. Okay. Shelf corporations, the minute there's an ownership change, then immediately they start using the change date of ownership as the corporation founded date. So these are complete wastes of money, complete shortcuts people try to take that don't work. Do not waste your money there. Okay. Now you need to know business credit, as I mentioned, determines if you're going to get approved for financing. It's also going to determine how much you're going to get approved for and the terms you'll pay. You can even be denied financing based on business credit quality, even if you have none. This is something that I live in this world all day long. Okay. Because what happens here is that when you have business credit, Experian and Equifax will populate a credit report for you and will give you a failing credit score, which is a 28 is what they'll give you on their IntelliScore, and they'll give you about a 5, with 0 being the lowest, 100 being the highest, 5 on what's called financial stability risk score. That directly determines your risk of going bankrupt, which means that the minute they know your business name, address, and SIC code, which by the way they get from your Secretary of State, the minute they know that, they populate a credit report for you. It's created. Whether you do any actions or not, boom, your credit profile now exists. You get a 28 Experian IntelliScore, you get a 5 financial risk score, and an empty profile. Now, anybody that pulls your business credit can see those scores, and their computers see those scores and automatically start spitting out denial, 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 denial. If you're lucky, they'll tell you you're denied based on business credit quality. Most of the time, they won't. Okay, I know because people call us all the time freaking out that they got denied based on business credit quality. But the reality is there's no Fair Credit Reporting Act. They don't need to tell you why they denied you. They don't need to tell you they're even looking at business credit, but it is the root of a lot of denials. So I'm going to teach you today how to get one account, add one account to a credit profile, and give yourself an excellent score. Doesn't work with D&B. We're going to talk about the differences with D&B and what D&B needs to create that profile and score. But we're going to be talking a little bit more about that because in this world, in my world, in the commercial world, if you don't have credit, you are automatically scored as extremely high risk, nearly on the verge of bankruptcy because you don't have it. So this is, again, just one more reason you really need to focus on building business credit so you don't get automatically denied because you don't have it. So a lot of questions I get, will this work for me? Well, business credit, as I mentioned, is the only financial solution you can get regardless of cash flow, credit, and collateral. It's something any business can obtain. Here's a look at just some approvals that we've actually obtained. Staples, here's a Texaco, JCPenney's, here's a Quill vendor account, $6,000 Amazon, $10,000 Apple approval, 12.5 with Apple. Okay, here's somebody, after reading your book and listening to your webinar, I've successfully attained 8,500 of starter credit. So again, a lot of these people knew nothing about this until they attended a similar webinar. Here's a Office Max account, new Net 30 account, Exxon Mobil account here for 2,000. There's a $17,000 Amazon approval, $2,600 fleet approval, $4,000 Amazon approval, another $4,000. Here's a bunch of approvals. Uline, Quill, Walmart, Amex Blue, Cash 2000, Amazon, and more. We can also see here 50,000 from Pilot Flying J. I'd like to say thank you for all your help. Okay, just wanted to say thank you for your webinar. $7,000 in credit, an 80 Paydex. Here's somebody that are using their credit to buy all kinds of things. 4,000 in credit. You can see this was January 2nd, so it's just a few days ago. Here's one as well, a $1,600 new account somebody just got. Here's one from yesterday with a $3,000 Exxon account. So this is the kind of credit, if you did take time to look at some of the comments, you'll see a lot of them say the same thing. I watched your webinar, and here are the kind of results that I'm now getting. And I'm going to teach you today how to get these exact same kind of results. 9,000 Amex. Here's another $7,200 approval, $20,000 Amex approval, $50,000 approval, $10,000 Dell approval. Here is a $6,000, and on and on and on. Guys, look, if you go to our website, you'll see we have a credibility link, and you can click on results, and there's hundreds of results, testimonials, everything you can find on our website. So here's one of our clients, Christine. We actually follow her process through webinars, and you can get an idea of the kind of credit that she's getting. You can see how this process works. You start with small vendors, which I don't have here. You escalate to the $2,000 to $5,000 range. Amazon, Tractor Supply, you can see she started to get these. Then she bumped up into this 10,000 plus range, right? 10 grand with Lowe's, 12.5 Apple, 15 Shell, 15 Office Depots, 15 Sears, Costco 20. There's this 15-20 tier. You start to get to that 20 tier, 20,000 in approval, you jump pretty quick to 40. You see that with her. 40 to Best Buy, Dell 40, Ford 40. She's now gotten approved with 140,000 with Ford since we actually published this. Roofing, local roofing contractor 75,000, PNC 100, Pilot Flying J 200. Here's a look at this. Now she's now reached $1 million. She's one of our $1 million clients. She's got multiple businesses she's done this with, as many of our clients have, and now has over $1 million in credit. Here's a $150,000 credit line that she shared that she got approved for. Here's look at her actual credit reports. You can't see it really well, but you can see the revolving credit accounts reporting there. Here's a $15,000 approval. Here's her, and she says, for those who say business credit without a PG is not possible, these are just a quote unquote few of my cards. So again, this is what's possible. And Christine's not one of our clients that's got $1 million. We have many of our clients that have done the same thing. How much credit you get depends on how much credit you use, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. So what is Dun Bradstreet? Well, they're the oldest and largest credit reporting agency. They're also the biggest supplier of business data, over 200 million records on file. So again, and I see a lot of questions coming in, guys. Listen, I will get your questions at the end, just so you know. So I just don't want you to think you're being neglected. To give you an idea, Experian is the next biggest business credit reporting agency. They have 23 million records on file. Dun Bradstreet's now over 220. So DNB is 10x bigger than Experian, and Equifax is so small they're a non-player. Lenders and credit issuers use them to determine loan approvals, rates, and terms, and they also issue a paid XScore, which is the credit score used most often in the business world. There's a couple things you need to do to establish that. We're going to talk about it. So where do they get their data? Payment history reported from creditors to them. The Small Business Finance Exchange, this is very important. SBFE, whether you know who they are or not, this is an organization that is owned by lenders, and lenders share all their information amongst themselves. And then there are what are called vendors, and Dun & Bradstreet's one of 4 vendors that also gets that data from there, and then they populate it into credit reports. So they get a lot of data from there, which is exchanged by all lenders, public records, court records, liens, government records. So this is some of the places. DNB also has crawlers that go to Google. They also go to, Facebook. They scour all this, or they scour all this information, or all these places for your business information. So those are some of the many places that DNB actually gets their information from. So why build business credit with them? Well, the DNB report is one of the first things a credit issuer is going to check when deciding whether they should give you credit or not. Most importantly, it's used by their computers, and their computers are using data from these reports to determine if you should get approved, rates and terms, and how much. So this is important. As we progress, I'm going to teach you how to get automated approvals, right? We need to talk a little bit more about how to get these automated approvals, and that means knowing what these computers are looking for. So scores on DNB reports determine the rate you'll pay. The profile depth determines if you'll get approved and approval amount. Profile depth means one thing: how many accounts you have reporting. If there's one thing you need to walk away with this from, remember this. Building business credit is all about how many accounts you have on that report. The more accounts you have, the more credit tiers will become available to you. And credit tiers will make more sense as we dive in. It's all about adding accounts to the credit report. The more accounts we add, the bigger the credit report, the more depth, the more credit you get approved for. And don't forget, those reports are public. D&B reports will determine your fundability, how much money you're going to basically be able to get. And here's one of our clients, the samples. We went to our bank to get a business line of credit, and they turned us down. We got started at Credit Suite, helped our business credibly, and built our business credit. After following these steps, we now secured over 96,000 in business credit cards and just applied for the Platinum Amex and got approved instantly with no limit. Now we have 4 to 5 different companies call us every day trying to give us money, and that's a really good problem to have. We're excited, and if you don't have business credit yet, you should get involved with Credit Suite to have the same results. So they are one of our clients that is closing in on $1 million, used it for multiple businesses, and now have one or more businesses that now generate 7 figures a year, and they used business credit to get the thing off the ground. So an example of what's possible. So let's talk about secret one. Look Fundable, the D&B trade vendors. So in order to do fundability, you really need to make sure that here's how fundability works. You need to know that lenders and credit issuers have a secret formula that you must meet to get approved. This isn't like mysterious to us. We understand it because when we apply for a credit card, we either get an automated approval or we get a decline, right? That's what we've actually got, one or the other. We know nobody's manually underwriting that application. We know computers are making the decision. So the question becomes, what data are the computers looking for? We call this fundability. Okay, so first of all, you got to choose a business address. Now, if you don't have a real physical location, consider a virtual address. Never use a PO box or UPS address. D&B won't even accept those when you get the DUNS number. Okay, people say to me, well, D&B won't accept virtual addresses when you set up your DUNS number. Yes, they will. If you're using an address and they tell you they won't accept it, it's not because it's virtual, it's because it's a PO box or a UPS address. A lot of companies like iPostal make you believe that it's something the equivalent of a virtual address, but it's really not. It's just a PO box. Okay, D&B will now show a Google Street View of the business on the credit report. So you need to be very careful. If you're using a home address, some sources like Walmart won't approve you. And you also need to know that there's going to be now Google Street Views of your business location on your credit report. So how would you feel if a prospect, a competitor, a client, a lender, a supplier, a credit issuer looks at your credit report, sees a big picture of your front yard? Okay, that's the reality. So if you don't want that to happen and you want to get approved for all sources, you really need to consider a virtual address. We'll talk about later as time permits some sources you can use. You want to set up a business phone number and you got to list it with 411. Now, the reason for that is because you can't fake 411. You can't go to 411.com and list your own number. That's not even 411. Okay, so because of that, credit issuers use this as a basic level of check to see if you're legitimate or not. If your business has been around and you're established and you're online, well, Google and all these places pick you up, and then 411 will list you. But if none of those places like Google and Bing have picked you up, well, then 411 won't list you. So it's just a basic check you can't fake that lenders and credit issuers use. We use a service called List Yourself to do this for our clients. It costs $30 a month for the service that we provide. $360 is the service we use from theirs to do it. And this way we list our client's phone number with 411 like very quickly. And so then that way there's no delay. But you got to get the phone number listed with 411, whether you're organically picked up by them or whether you use a service like List Yourself. And I'll talk to you later how to get that without paying the nearly $400 a year to do it. So you also need to have a toll-free number. Somebody asked me the other day, do you need a toll-free number? Why are you asking the question? Because the reality is a toll-free costs you no more than a local phone number. And the question of credibility is very simple. If you look at a business, which nowadays almost all of us do business nationwide, unless we're like a local restaurant, well, then why would you not have a toll-free number? How credible does it make you look if you do business nationwide and don't have a toll-free number? Think of it like that. When you're filling out these applications, you need to make sure that every single thing on an application reflects that you're fundable, that you're legitimate, that you're credible. And if you ask yourself, does a toll-free number versus a regular number, which makes me look more credible? Obviously, toll-free does. So whenever you're doing that mental check, always go with what gives you more credibility. Same as a fax number. Not to say anybody's going to directly deny you because you don't have a fax number, but if you leave that application field blank, that throws up a red flag. You have enough of those red flags, you get denied. Avoid Google Voice, but other voice over IPs are okay for a phone number. So voice over IPs versus actual landlines will work. Now, a company should also be an LLC or a corporation. Stay away from partnerships and stay away from sole proprietors. Why? Because sole proprietors and partnerships, you and the business are one and the same. So what that means is it means that if the business gets sued, you get sued. We want to separate liability. It's why we build business credit, but we can't separate liability if you are the business. So corporation or LLC, you separate that liability. You can build business credit with a sole prop. You could build business credit with a partnership. Let me be clear, you can do it. You're just always going to be liable for what happens in those businesses. So you get the other benefits, you're just still going to be liable because of the entity you've chosen. Visit the IRS website and get a free EIN. Okay. You also want to get a professional email address and a professional looking website. Okay. These are just things that they're going to check off on the application. Now, credit issuers won't look at the website. Lenders will. Okay. Some D&B vendors will ask for bank references. A lot of them will. So set up a business bank account so you can have those bank references when they're asked for in applications, and you need any licenses per the industry, county, state, town that you're in as well. Congruency is also very important. Well, whenever I put something in red and bold, that's about as much as important as I can make something. Congruency is very important. Let me explain to you why applications get denied. The statistic on this is that 89% of big bank applications get denied, and here's why. You may think, like everybody else, that it's because you don't qualify. Nope, that's not the case. Nearly half of business applications are denied because of potential fraud. The lender thinks the application is fraudulent. You know how much real fraud these banks deal with? It's insane. So any indicators of fraud, they immediately deny the application. So what happens is when you try to go to your bank to apply and you're using a phone number that's different from what they find online, you're applying with an address that's a little different than what's with the Secretary of State, when they have these discrepancies, their computers are automatically giving indicators that there's potential fraud. It looks like somebody's trying to mimic your business and apply for funding on your behalf. But who wouldn't know their own address? Who wouldn't know their own phone number? Who wouldn't know the correct spelling of your name? But the problem isn't that you don't know your phone number, you don't know your address, you don't know the spelling of your name. The problem is these things change over time, and if you don't change the Secretary of State records, and all this data went from banks into the Small Business Finance Exchange, and LexisNexis has all this data, and lenders are getting all this information that's not congruent with what's on the application, you immediately get denied. And it's not because you didn't qualify, it's because they think that it's fraud. So you want to avoid these potential risks of your application being seen as fraud, and that happens by making sure that all this information is congruent and the same in all places. Not having these things makes a business look unestablished and unfundable, and if a business looks unfundable, it will not be able to get credit from vendors, and there will be no credit reporting to D&B, which is why you must do it. Secret 2, get your DUNS. The DUNS number is a 9-digit number D&B uses for identification purposes worldwide. This is free. There's no need to pay for additional services. There is a way to get it free from Dun Bradstreet. I'll talk to you about it later on how we help do that as well. And the number is required for federal contractors, so it's got to be free. Okay. If you don't have a DUNS, you will never have a credit profile with D&B. There's 2 requirements D&B has. You have to have a DUNS number is one of them. Okay. The second is right here. You need to have at least 3 accounts reporting to Dun & Bradstreet. I get this all the time with comments on our social media. Hey, why won't Dun & Bradstreet give me my credit profile? Well, it's because of one of 2 things. You don't have a DUNS number yet, or you don't have 3 accounts reporting. And every time somebody replies and goes, oh, I didn't get my DUNS. I only have 1 account. I only have 2 accounts. You got to have both for D&B to do this. Now, remember, not the same as Experian and Equifax. They'll populate a report with 1 account and give you a failing score. Okay, excuse me, with no accounts to give you a failing score. But Dun & Bradstreet, you have to have 3 accounts and a DUNS number. Having a DUNS number will register you in the system, and that's what will get vendors to start reporting your payments to them, and when they will look at your history. Okay, you also want to provide creditors with your DUNS number, even if they don't ask for it. Here again, bold and red, so that's pretty important. Now, let me tell you why. We've seen clients, through experimenting with this, get denied, then supply their DUNS, only thing they changed, and get approved. So what happens is sometimes credit issuers, even with the EIN, even with all their info, weren't able to find the business in the credit bureau system. But the minute the DUNS was provided, they then access that credit profile and a denial turned from an approval. This isn't a time this happened. This is a lot. So I can tell you without a doubt that you need to provide your DUNS number all the time. Even if they don't ask for it, provide the DUNS number with the application. Anytime that you can, it can oftentimes turns denials into approvals. So secret number 3, get initial credit one of 4 ways. There are 4 ways now. And I wasn't sure if I was going to talk a lot about the other one today, but I'm going to talk about it. I'm not positive, but I might even talk to you a little bit about this, about a way to get this for free here a little bit later. So there's 4 ways to build initial business credit. You get vendors, get credit with vendors that will give you credit and then report your payments to the reporting agencies. You could use DNB's credit builder, which kind of sucks because you can't add utility accounts and you can't add rent or lease or bank payments or credit cards. Most of what you usually use, you can't even add. You can get unsecured business financing. I'm going to talk to you about that later. That's a way to get up to $150,000 and 0% credit cards and credit lines, even as a startup. And those credit lines report to the reporting agencies. Or you have the brand new way, which we are currently beta testing, which is where you can add utilities, cell phone, and more to some of your credit reports, including Credit Safe and Experian. Won't help you with DNB yet, but that's brand stinking new, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. So you can use business credit by using vendors. Now, these are ones that sell stuff you buy every day. They'll often extend terms like net 30, okay, even with no established business credit. And you can basically get credit with vendors who report to Dun Bradstreet. Okay, then you may have to make some initial purchases. So what happens is some sources like Uline and Quill, which we'll talk about later, Uline and Quill will make you come in and will make you make purchases sometimes before they'll approve you for credit. Now, again, if you followed all the fundability requirements that we gave you, you should be okay. But if they come to you and say, sorry, we can't issue you credit, then you buy the stuff you had initially put in your cart to get credit for and go back and apply again. And usually by the 3rd time, we've never seen a case where somebody didn't get approved. So sometimes that's needed. You must get the credit, use it, and then pay the bill. Period. There's 3 steps to this process. Get approved for the credit. You went in, you applied, you put stuff in your cart, you said, invoice me, I want it. Then they say, okay, boom, you got it. And then you got it, you used it, you bought stuff with it, and then the minute you get the invoice or the minute the item ships and you can pay. Never pay before it ships. It won't count as credit. But after it ships, you've got to then get that paid. Now, DNB Credit Builder, as I mentioned, they'll add limited accounts that you already have, okay, to your credit report. And then unsecured business financing as well is way we'll talk about a little bit later. I've got limited time and a bunch of stuff to get through. And here is Dun Bradstreet's Credit Builder. Here's the problem with their program. You can see these that cannot be added. The following are those that cannot be added: financial services, banks, credit unions, insurance, utilities and gas, credit card, virtual offices, credit counseling, international companies, business with unknown SICs. Well, virtual offices, rent, leasing, financial services, utilities, this is most of what you already will pay, okay? And again, these can't be added either. Untrustworthy, a lot of other kinds of accounts. So the bottom line is, what I like to say is, before you buy DNB's Credit Builder, you should first think about, what would you add to there? What would you add to your report? What do you have to add? If I work from a home in a home office, well, I'm going to show you later how you could take your water bill, your electric bill, your gas bill. You could take your TV bill, your cell phone bill, your internet bill, and add all of those to Experian and Credit Safe. But DNB won't let you add any of that stuff. So I don't see why you'd pay what they're charging, which is basically $100 or $1,500 a year for a service that most of what you have can't even be added. So you have to ask yourself what you could add. Okay. And again, I think some people have some audio issues, but a lot of people don't. So I think we're okay. If you have an audio issue, type it in. But sometimes if you get out and come back in, it should be able to fix that. Not all vendor credits created equal, secret 4. So not all vendor credits going to work. Not every vendor can help like starter true credit or true starter vendors can. These are vendors that will grant an approval with minimum effort. You also want to make sure that they report to Dun & Bradstreet if trying to build business credit with them. So there's 2 requirements vendors must meet. 1, They will give you credit when you have none. That is a true starter vendor. There are plenty of vendors like Amazon that will give you a net 55 account, and they'll also give you revolving. But Amazon won't give you a net 55 if you have no credit. You'd have to have some to get it. Okay, then you also need to make sure that they actually report the credit. 97% of trade vendors don't report the credit to a reporting agency. You want to get credit with a reporting or with a credit issuer that does. So you got to make sure they report. You got to make sure they'll give you true starter credit. It's the only way this works. Now, some of the most reliable companies we found are Uline. They sell shipping supplies, packaging supplies. They report to D&B monthly. Quill, they sell standard office supply that you can always use. They have over 1 million products, including printing services, marketing, all kinds of stuff. Sometimes you have to make a few initial purchases, as I talked about, with them to get approved. They report to D&B. Granger, industrial supply, hand tools, power tools, other industrial supplies. Gimplers, they sell tools, pest control items, outdoor supplies as well. You need about 5 of these accounts. I just gave you like 4. I will show you, if time permits later, I'll show you the vendors that our clients are using, and they're able to use phone service and SEO and graphics and website creation and get vendor credit from all those kind of sources that report. But here's a basic of some of the go-to sources that could work for you as vendors. And here's some approvals from people that are getting Uline and HD Supply got approved here. Here's people that are using, got Quill and Uline approvals, as you can see. Here's a bunch of them. Quill, Seaton used to be pretty good. They're no longer report. Uline, Granger, these are all vendor accounts. HD Supply. Here's some of these, and then 6 net 30 vendor accounts. So even though these are revolving, this picture you can see net 30 vendor accounts. Here's somebody that used Uline to get packages shipped to them. Here's a Supply Works approval. Here's somebody that got a printer using. So again, vendor credit is ones where you're going to get terms like net 30, right? So I can't just, spend $1,000 and pay it back monthly over 6 months. If I spend $1,000, I got to pay back $1,000. But remember, these are the vendors that will give you initial credit, then report that credit to the actual reporting agencies. Okay. Now remember, we talked about 4 ways to do this. We talked about D&B's Credit Builder, the 0% credit lines. I didn't get into that a lot. I'll talk about that later as time permits. The utilities, I didn't get into that a lot. I'll talk to you about that later as well. And the vendor credit as well, which we went into pretty elaborate. Secret 5, access the retail credit tier. So once you have 5 accounts or more, then you can move on to the retail credit tier. Here's why I say 5 accounts or more. And here's the jig, right? You're waiting to know what the catch is. Here's the catch. The catch is that with 5 accounts reporting, you can start to get retail credit. Start. But all sources won't approve you with 5. Like Amazon may want 6, right? And then Home Depot may want 10. And then Staples may only need 4. So you can really, at most part, with 5 start to get approved for most retail credit, but some retailers are going to want 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is why it takes people so long to build business credit. When you don't know that, then you go apply for Staples and get denied, and you're like, okay. Then you go to Office Depot and you get denied. Then you go to Lowe's and get approved. Then you use Lowe's a little, and then you go back to Staples and still get denied, and then Office Depot denies you. It's just this process of trial and error to figure it out. And I'll show you later how you could just know where everybody reports. You can imagine how that expedites the process if you just know where every one of these sources reports to. And as well as that, you also know their actual underwriting requirements. And we'll dive into that as well. So this is the point where you get Amazon, Costco, Walmart, Dell, Staples, all of this kind of revolving retail credit. Now, you want to use the company's EIN on these applications because thanks to your on-time payments, now you have that paydex score. You want to use that established credit to get approved. Okay, these creditors will report payments to Dun Bradstreet as well, further building your business credit. All of them don't. Some of them report to Experian, Equifax, CreditSafe, D&B. I'll show you later how to know where every single source reports to. So we'll dive in and talk about that as well. But again, the key here is to build business credit. Now, sometimes people ask me, well, they never even asked for my EIN. Well, they won't because they know your business address based on name and address alone. So they don't even need your EIN, but this is all EIN credit that's being established. So they may ask for your social and date of birth. This is brand new as of May 2018. And it's only for verification purposes. Here's what that looks like if they do it the right way. Here's an actual application form. And it says federal regulations now require all banks to verify the ownership of certain business types when opening an account. You'll be asked to identify any beneficial owners of this business plus one person with significant managing control. Please note this information provided on this form is for validation or consumer verification only, will not affect personal credit or imply liability. You see that? Man, if they all did it this way. So the government now requires that any bank get your date of birth and social security number because they need to verify that who you are for money laundering purposes. So even though the credit issuers don't want to get the social and never needed to, now the government requires they do. So when you apply and you don't want to give liability and you don't want to give a credit check, you're really looking for this kind of disclaimer, which WEX has done a brilliant job of. They explain exactly why the information is needed, and they tell you in bold, you are not giving a personal credit check or implied liability. And then you can see here's the application information. So again, this is the kind of disclaimer you want to see. If you don't see this kind of disclaimer, you want to make sure you call to apply and let them know that you're not authorizing a credit check or a personal guarantee as well. Okay. So that being said, hopefully that will make that a little bit easier to go through. Now, I know a couple people are saying that there's no echo, but just so you guys know, I've got like a lot of people, hundreds and hundreds of people on this webinar. I've only got 2 of you having audio issues. So I don't think that's on my end because nobody else has typed in that it is. So I don't know what I can do to help you on that end because it looks like everybody else is doing okay. So one example here is Lowe's. They report to D&B Equifax Experian. They want to see your DUNS and a PAYDEX score of 78. You get a PAYDEX score of 80 just by paying your bills on time. So all they're asking you to do is have on-time payments and have that DUNS established. Another is Dell. They report to D&B. They need to see that you've been in business for 6 months or more. They also want that 78 PAYDEX. And again, here's some approvals that you can see what this revolving credit looks like. Amazon, Alphas Max. Here's a Sam's Club card for 13 grand. New Sam's Club 14,000 limit. Lowe's for 10 grand. No PG. You're seeing these people are also typing in no PG, which means no personal guarantee. Here's another Dell approval. Another approval here. I showed you Christine's, Home Depot, J.C. Penney's, and on and on. I already showed you a bunch of other approvals. Here's more to show you what retail credit looks like. Step 6, access the fleet credit, automobile repair, maintenance, fuel. So once you have 8 accounts, then you can start to move to fleet credit. Fuelman, WEX, RTJ, Kanoco. Okay, this is to repair and maintain vehicles and buy fuel. Look, if you're like me and work in an office, you don't care. But if you're a trucker, you're in transportation, this is what you live off of. So again, depending on the type of business you are, the type of credit you're going to get will benefit you in different ways. When credit issuers in the fleet report your payments on time, then your PAYDEX will get even stronger. Now, one example, Shell, they report to D&B and Experian. 78 PAYDEX is what they're looking for, 411, and they may say that you need a certain time in business. But if you have enough trade lines, it usually doesn't matter. So you see how this works? I showed you the actual underwriting requirements for several sources. And you notice one of them said we need the DUNS. Others don't. One says you need 411. Others don't. This is why I'm telling you to do all of those fundability things first, because all of them don't require that. But a lot of them require this fundability point or this fundability point. If you just make sure the business is fundable, you're just going to meet a lot of these requirements, especially if you're getting the credit and paying the bill as agreed to have that PAYDEX score. Another example is Racetrack. They report to D&B and Experian, PAYDEX score of 78, 411 listing. They prefer that you're in business 3 years or more. So here's the kicker. A lot of applications say this, 1 million in revenue in 3 years in business is what you need. But what you will find is that if you have enough trade lines reporting, these requirements do not matter. You show me somebody with 10 accounts reporting all day long, I'll show you a Staples application that says they need 1 million in sales in 3 years in business, and I'll show you an automated approval when we type the revenue in as 100 grand. Because as I told you in the beginning, we'll tell you again and again and again, the key to the game here is the number of trade lines you have reporting. The more trades you have, the more nothing else matters. So it's all about getting those trades. Here's Pilot Flying J approval. Here's a BP. Here's a Murphy's Express. Here's another fleet approval, Kanoco, Fuelman fleet, another Kanoco, another. So just tons and tons of Speedway. I mean, just tons and tons of approvals here. So secret 7, access to cash credit here. If you come this far, the sky's the limit. Now you can apply for credit cards like MasterCard or Visa, even American Express. Now they will report your payments to Dun Bradstreet and your PAYDEX continues to grow. Some of them report to Experian and Equifax. And just as I mentioned, Only supply the SSN if you know that you are not giving a guarantee and not giving a credit check. It's the only way that you should ever do either one of those. Many of these credit issuers will want to see paydex of 78 or higher, 14 trades or more, $10,000 higher limit. So that $10,000 high limit is very important. Really, as I said, the number of accounts you put on your business credit report is the main factor. Let me teach you the number two, that you're actually using that credit. So somebody was in our Facebook group the other day and they said, hey, I'll only enroll in if you do the work for me. And I said, nope, we're probably not a good fit. And somebody else, because the whole goal is, they said, look, I just want it done for me. Well, if you're saying you want it done for you, then you're just trying to build business credit to get to the end result. The problem is nobody can get to the end result of cash credit unless they're using the credit they got to get there, meaning that nobody's going to give you a $10,000 limit unless you're actually using the credit. So this isn't a process to get to an end. This is a process that when you get to the revolving store credit, get credit you really need. We use Amazon, we use Office Depot, we use Staples all the time. We spend thousands, $10,000 plus on those cards. So then our next approvals are also very high. You've got to be using the credit for future credit issuers to give you higher limits. 10,000 is a drop in the bucket with us. It's so simple to get. But if you're only spending 50 bucks at every source, you're never going to get to a $10,000 approval. So you got to have at least one credit card at this point with a $10,000 limit, 14 trades and a 78 paydex, which means you pay your bills as agreed. All fairly easy to get if you're using the credit along the way. Here's a $15,000 approval, 9,000 Amex. Here's another American Express. This is pretty cool. They sent that in that box. I like that. 22,000 Amex approval, 7,000 Flagstar, another approval. That's the same one actually. 13,500. Here's a 13,000 Citi, another approval here from Amex, a 24,000 Amex Applied Bank, another Inc. Chase approval here. So this is what cash credit tier actually looks like. Secret 8, monitor your business credit scores. So you need to monitor your business credit reports to know what and how many accounts are reporting. Remember, I told you the key to moving from tier to tier of credit is how many accounts are on there. You got to be able to monitor that. This is how you know to move on to the next tier. You also need to ensure the information is correct and take steps to fix any inaccuracies. D&B charges 150 bucks a month. Okay, I'll talk to you later about how you can save 90% on that, not pay the 150 bucks. I'll show you later how you can get D&B, Experian, and Credit Safe, and add items to Experian and Credit Safe, unlimited accounts you can add for less than 100 bucks. And D&B charges 150 for their monitoring service. So again, not probably the route you want to go, but that is how much they charge. I'll show you how to save money on that a little bit later. Remember, 3 accounts reporting D&B credit profile, 1 reported to Experian or Equifax will give you good score. Okay, some accounts report monthly, some report quarterly. That's why I always tell you to get more credit than you need. It'll expedite this process. Verify accounts are reporting before moving on. Don't just think you got 5 accounts and now you move to retail credit. You need to get your credit reports and see them on there, then move to the next credit tier. And again, you want to get monitoring with D&B and Experian at least. Sometimes Equifax or Credit Safe, they're not as big of players, so they're not as important, but D&B and Experian are pretty important. Number 9, do business with members of the Small Business Finance Exchange. So SBFE members have a give and get relationship. Remember I told you that there was a data warehouse that's owned by lenders. It's called the SBFE, Small Business Finance Exchange. And what happens is they have this give and get relationship. So what it means is this. If you want to be part of SBFE, if you want to get the data from all the other banks, you have to be willing to give the data about the applicants. So all the applicants, how you perform on loans, all of this is supplied to SBFE. So credit vendors like D&B then use that data to create credit products and credit monitoring, as I told you about. So these products are for distribution to SBFE members. Okay, this is one data source used by D&B. Now, doing business with these lenders that report data to SBFE will give you more complete information. They put that payment history on your Dun Bradstreet credit report. Look, There's two ways loans can show on your credit report. One is a UCC filing. That's not going to help you at all. That just tells the bureau that you have an outstanding loan. Okay. It does nothing to build credit history. Then you actually have them where their credit history helps you build business credit. Okay. And I see people with $50,000, $100,000 loans on their business credit reports. Then all of a sudden they're able to get $20,000, $30,000 limit credit cards. So by getting a loan with a lender that actually reports the payments to SBFE is a really big deal, because that could really expedite your business credit building. So one of the best ways to do this is just by simply asking the lender you're getting the loan with, do you report to the Small Business Finance Exchange? If they say they don't know, well, then have them check. Have them check with an underwriter to figure that out. Number 10, for building business credit with Dun Bradstreet, make consistent on-time payments to creditors. The D&B Paydex score is 100% based on payment history, which means the score's not like FICO on the consumer side where your credit mix, length of credit history, and all this crap ties into it. With Paydex, it's only based on payment history. If you're going to be late on any account, then pay your lower limit account first. Okay, the last thing you want to go late on, pay your highest limit account first. Okay, pay your lowest limit accounts last. This is because of what's called D&B's weighted average. The way weighted average works is that basically you get more weight for higher limit accounts. So if I have two credit cards, one with $1,000 limit, one with $10,000, I have to go late on one. I got to go late. I don't have the money to pay both. I always pay the $10,000 limit the higher limit first, because that has more weight into my score than the lower limit account. So one, never go late. Pay your bills on time or early, and add as many accounts as you can to D&B. That offsets the rare time you go late. We went late on Amazon because it was a brand new account, and our accountant dropped the ball and never set up auto bill pay. So we went late on it. You know what happened to our credit scores? Nothing happened to our credit scores. We have so many accounts reporting that are positive that the little negative was way washed away by all the positive. So again, if you ever have to go late, pay the higher limit account first, because that has more weight in the score. Now, remember, we talked about Paydex. That's the most popular score in the business credit world. Okay. And in order to get that, you've got to have 3 trades reporting and a DUNS. We talked about that as well. Here's how that Paydex score works. If you have a 100 score, it means your payment may come early. You have 90, it's within the discount period, and 80 means your payment is prompt. Okay, if you paid your payments 90 days late on average, you'd have about a 50 score. Okay, so that gives you an idea of how this actually works. Your score literally is completely based on how you pay. I mean, how you pay on average determines what that score is. This is why business credit building is so fast, because it's so easy to do this. Now, you also want to monitor your other scores: delinquency predictor, financial stress score, D&B rating, SIR rating. These are all the other scores Dun & Bradstreet has. They classify them 2 ways: predictive and performance. And D&B is the only one that does this. Predictive scores predict the probability that you will go late in the future. Performance scores score you based only on past performance, how you've already performed in the past. So they offer 2 different tiers of scores that determine different things. But what I can tell you is this: the most important thing you need to do is get credit that reports and pay your bills. If you do those 2 things, you're in pretty good shape. Here's one of our clients, Marlon. I was looking for a fast way to get money to grow my consumer credit business. After failing to get approved for loans with several banks, I discovered Credit Suite. After getting initial vendor credit accounts, I continued applying, getting all types of credit. Now have over 100 business credit cards in my wallet, totaling over $1 million in total available credit. I have fleet credit that I use for auto repairs and fuels. I have cash credit I use for most banks, including Bank of America, Wells Fargo. I secured almost all this without a personal credit check, without a guarantee. And I've been able to get loans with many sources, including PayPal and Cabbage, with low rates and loan amounts over 100 grand. Here's Marlon. The left image, I was on a call with him, interviewing him with a status update, and he whipped out those cards and showed me, and I took a screenshot from that video. Our clients actually, that's one of the locked down things that we show only our clients, because we don't take a lot of our clients' testimonial results and even make them front facing. We actually give those available to our clients so they know what to expect along the way. So I've got a little bit of time here. I expected to go 90 minutes. I've got about 32 minutes left. There's a lot of stuff I'd like to talk to you about if you all are okay with it. So what I'd like to do over the next 30 minutes or so is I would love to come in and show you how our clients actually get these results, how the samples, how Christine, how Marlon actually gets the results, show the clients the process that our clients actually go through. And then a lot of other stuff I told you I'd talk to you about as well, the virtual addresses, the how to get financing, the how to get the 411 without paying. So if you type in yes if you're still okay time-wise for me to get into all of that and show you all of that, because I want to be aware of your time. And if that makes sense, then that's something we'll do. So we'll dive in and I'll show you not just in theory how this works with D&B, but I'll show you how our clients are actually doing it to get real results. Okay, so a lot of that. All right, so all right, okay, so here we go. So let me dive in and give you an idea. Let me pull up my actual software here. Okay, so this here is called our Business Finance Suite or our Business Credit Builder. Now, this does a lot of things. Okay, there's 3 things at Credit Suite we specialize in. We help improve your fundability, all those basic things that make you approvable or not, the things that prevent you from getting denied because your addresses aren't congruent, stuff like that. We just partnered with LexisNexis. We get the same data the lenders use, and we're now starting to use that to cross-check your information against. We also help you with all kinds of loans and credit lines and business credit building. And then this system actually helps you offer both as a service as well. So here's our Business Credit Builder. Now, I want to show you what this process really looks like, how our clients go from taking 2 to 3 years to do this and get it done in a much shorter period of time. Now, as we talked about, the very first thing that matters is your credibility, is the fundability of the business. Now, again, what you want to need to avoid here with business names is you need to avoid high-risk business names, because if you have a name that indicates you're in a high-risk industry, what will happen is that can get you a lot of red flags or denials. So you can see here, we explain all this through very short videos. Okay, all of our system is very little text, and most of it's videos that actually show you 3-minute video, 48-second video here. Okay, do you have a business name? If you don't, well, then we want to review strict industries. This is updated all the time. Okay, and this is all the industries that are restricted that you don't want to choose, the ones that you want to stay away from that make and you know, guidelines more stringent to even be able to come in and get approved. These are the ones that you either can't get approved if you're in these industries, or it's harder to get approved. So we help you with that. You can even access the Secretary of State records. Our system even allows you to come in here and just choose English to Spanish, and you can see that everything, voila, immediately changes from English to Spanish here all through the system with just one change. So if Spanish is your native language, you can easily do that as well. So you got to set up that business name. Now, our system, if you do that, you just enter the information and move on. Business addresses, virtual addresses. We have a lot of sources available for you for virtual addresses. But I can tell you that the biggest sources that we use for business addresses are for virtual addresses is Alliance. Alliance is who we use more often for virtual addresses. And you can see here that there's a few of them that we actually have access to, and we get affiliate discounted rates with them. So you have access to that. And again, everywhere along the line, there's a short video. We help you with setting up the entity correctly, getting your phone number listed with 411. Now, as I said, we do that for you for free. If you were a client, you don't have to pay for that. It saves you $360 a year. If you're not a client, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that you go and use probably List Yourself. So in our world, if a client just says, yes, I want it listed, they tell us the number they want to have listed, and we automatically list that to 411, saves them a bunch of time. Again, the website, the email, getting the EIN, the business licensing, your business bank account. A lot of people don't know you have 3 credit profiles. You have personal, business, and bank credit profile and score. We teach you about how all of that works. So everything with setting up your fundability, we're helping clients through with step 1. So you can see that we're doing exactly as I preached to you, you should do as well. Now, the next thing we're doing is helping you get set up with the reporting agency. Same thing you're going to want to do. You're going to want to make sure that you come in and get set up with Experian, Equifax, and D&B, and you're going to want to make sure that you fix any inaccuracies on your business credit report. reports as well. We do that with our clients. So we help our clients with fixing any inaccuracies, updating credit profiles as well, and also getting your DUNS number. So if you want to get your DUNS number, you just put, boom, apply for DUNS number, and there you go. Now, D&B will try to charge you $1,500 for this. As I've already mentioned, they have to offer you a free way to do it, but they will hard sell you. We just save you that money and that grief and make it easy for you to get your DUNS number. We also help you get set up with Experian and Equifax. Here's why this is important. Whether you're a client or not, you need to do a free search on Experian's website and Equifax's website to see if you have any credit established. Remember, if you have a credit profile or score and you do not, or you don't have any credit, they'll still issue that failing score. So one of the first things we do is have our clients go right to Experian and Equifax and for free do a search to see if there's any information adversely reporting against them. If they have a negative score just because they have no credit, you're going to want to do that same check. You can go to Experian and Equifax and do that directly. And then, of course, you're going to want to fix any inaccuracies that you have. You're going to want to get your business credit reports if you have any credit established and dispute any inaccuracies. Of course, we walk through that entire process and then we help our clients through that. But if you're doing that on your own, that's something you want to do. Now, what we found is this: our system is so successful. The reason we're A+ with BBB and no complaints and 200, 300, I don't know, reviews that are all positive. It's just what it comes down to is our advisors help you through this process. You're going to have a lot of questions along the way. Don't get frustrated. You find a forum, find a group to, if you're doing this on your own, to work with people. And keep in mind, those are novices building business credit as well. So there might be some bad information exchanged. But again, our advisors, if you're working with us, are working you through this step by step. They're holding your hand. They're walking you through the process. They're not just waiting for you to call them. They call you and proactively coach you through this entire process. But if you're doing this on your own, you need to know how those things work. Now, the next thing we do is we start helping our clients get business credit or get vendor credit, right? So I talked to you a little bit about vendor credit building. We talked about Uline. We talked about Quill. Our system has more vendors than you're going to find anywhere else, and there's a reason for that. We create them. What we found is that our clients really were sick and tired of buying a bunch of crap they don't need to build business credit. So what we did was we started going to people that have services our clients need: SEO, website, phone services, graphics work, t-shirts, and we got all of them the ability to report. So they're not in forums and stuff. Most people don't even know about them because they don't promote it on their website and such. We know about it because we helped them get the ability to report, and we monitor their reporting. So you're able to come in and get website services and gas and furniture and website design. You're able to get SEO services. You're able to accept payments from your customers and get strategic network and computer solutions, even office solutions at places like Quill. You're able to get shipping supplies. I mean, just everything you can imagine. You're actually able to get here because, again, what we're doing is we're actually working with people and helping them get the ability to report, so that way you could get stuff you really need to use and build your business credit at the same time. Now, you can see here that our system tells you if you're pre-qualified for the account or not. The biggest delay in business credit building is people applying for credit accounts and then realizing they can't get approved. So we're actually telling you every source whether you can get approved and qualify or not, so you know. We give you special instructions you need to make sure that you do to get approved. We actually give you the underwriting guidelines for every single source. We're about one thing: speed. That's all we care about. Well, not all we care about. We care about a lot, but the most important thing to us is to get you the fastest results. Fast, 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 fast. So we do that by teaching you the underwriting guidelines for every source. So you only apply for ones you're going to get approved for. You know the ones you're pre-qualified for right here. We color code the ones you're able to get approved for as well. And then we tell you how many trade lines you're going to need, because that helps you get these accounts faster onto your actual business credit reports. Now, once you've done so, the next thing you want to do is monitor the reports. Remember, the key is how many trade lines you have on those reports. So we've got to make sure that we're getting these accounts added. So this is where you're going to set up Dun Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian credit monitoring. I mentioned D&B is $150 a month. You can see, let me see here. What's the D&B's credit builder? Our system, we just constantly make all these updates, and I'm finding my way around because it's there's so many new rollouts I just saw. So $150 a month is D&B. Now, gives you the ability to add those accounts to D&B's credit builder. They only have one monitoring. You can add accounts and monitor. That's all they have, and it's $150 a month. But the nice thing about it is that if you're actually working with us through a client or as a client, you can actually come right here and monitor, and it's only $24 a month to get both Experian and D&B. And you can see here's your Experian and Telescore, what the score means, where you compare to other businesses, all of your business identification, your SIC codes, factors influencing your score, summary information, all of your public records are all right here on there. You can see the actual accounts on your Experian credit reports. This is Pixar, by the way. I can show you this because it's public information. Pixar, pay your bills, Pixar. Here's tax liens. You even get alerts of anything that changes. And you do exactly the same thing with Dun Bradstreet. You get here your credit score, what it means, Dunn's number, key summary data. You also get all your account information, your public filing information. All of this is available. And again, it's $24 a month with us instead of spending $150 with Experian or with D&B and $50 with Experian. It's $200 to monitor Experian and D&B. With us, it's $24. It saves you $2,200 a year. And this is brand new. We just rolled this out. I'll talk about later. This actually now gets you your credit safe credit reports as well. So you can actually access, that was not what's supposed to happen. That was an older report. And you actually access your credit safe. That was not supposed to happen. You can see that it's in our server and it's locked. So I got to unlock that. You can actually access your credit safe reports, and you can now add accounts here, and you can add utility accounts to your actual credit reports as well. So what this allows you to do is it actually allows you to come in and add Experian and add accounts to Experian, add accounts to your credit monitoring. And you can choose to do that. And I'll tell you how to get that for free a little bit later. I think I'll still have some time. I'll go over that with you. So again, it's $24 if you're a client to monitor or business credit. It's $99 or it's $150 with Experian and $50 for D&B, or $149 with D&B, $150 with Experian, just so you know. Once you have those initial accounts and you verified that they are actually reporting, then what you're able to do is come into here. This is where you really get what you want, right? Here's the fleet cars, here's advanced auto parts. By the way, these we just added, these two were just added. Actually today, I was just told today. I have them, they're all uneven here because I have it zoomed in. If I went to like 100%, they all kind of work out. But again, it looks a little weird because I'm zooming in. Northern Tool, United Rentals, Wawa, Ryder. Now see how these are grayed out a little? The difference is that these I'm pre-qualified, these I'm not. So you can see how we say not recommended. This means I don't have enough trade lines to qualify. This is how we take years and condense it to months. Instead of having you go through trial and error, apply and deny, apply and denied, apply and denied, apply and denied, we tell you what to apply for and what's denied based on what's on your report, so you know all the accounts to get approved for. 7-Eleven, Sheetz, HD Supply, Meijer, Lowe's. I mean, almost every major retailer is in here. You can even see Macy's is in here, right? Exxon, Conoco. I mean, there's just so many sources that are here, and it never stops. As you continue to go through the rounds of business credit building, we tell you how many accounts you need to get approved for each of these sources. And you can see that we just continue to have almost every retailer that you've heard of, and a lot you haven't. Tractor Supply, Home Depot, okay, Walmart, Sears, I'm going to miss you when you go, Sinclair, Conoco, and on and on and on. We even have a whole section of accounts that have personal guarantees. If you don't mind the personal guarantee, we have, and that you want credit accounts that report to the reporting agencies and you don't mind the guarantee, we have those as well. Now, these are all no PG accounts. I'll show you the ones with the personal guarantee. So you can see here, PNC, you get auto vehicle financing here. Here's Visa cards and MasterCards you get without a personal guarantee. All same thing, right? We're telling you the actual underwriting guidelines for every source, so you'll know you can get approved before you even apply. Okay, we're telling you who they report to. We're telling you pre-qualify. So it just takes this whole process and just simplifies it. And again, we just go on and on and on. Here are ones that don't report. They'll give you credit based on business credit quality, but they don't report the credit you get. Still a value. Amex, Costco, Newegg, AT&T, okay, Ford Financing, T-Mobile, Sprint. Apple, on and on and on, right? Best Buy. And then there's a ton more of even accounts that actually have a personal guarantee. Maybe you don't mind the personal guarantee. A lot of our clients say, well, what if I don't mind the personal guarantee? Well, then there's a bunch more. Here's more banks. Here's other kinds of cash credit cards a lot of people have never heard of before. And the reason we have all this is that we have a whole data team. All our data team does is just comes in and gets you access. The bottom line is when you have access to our system, you just never need money again. You don't need to look for money again. We have a finance team that helps you with every aspect of financing, a business credit team that helps you with every aspect of building business credit, and every credit account you could think about and the bunch you don't even know exist, you all have access to. So it's all available, guarantee, not guarantee. Now, we also told you I talk a little bit about financing. If you go to Finance My Business, we work with every legitimate funding product in the business space and over 1,000 lenders. So if you have good credit, you can come in, or a good credit guarantor, you can get unsecured business financing. This is a 0% credit lines. You can get about 5 of them that help you build business credit. Need a 680 FICO or score or higher to get it. If you have revenue, no matter how bad your credit is, we have revenue financing. We even have credit lines that are based on revenue that don't that plug right into your bank account. If you manage your bank account responsibly, you get approved. There's not even a credit check to get a real credit line. Okay, you're able to get a financing to buy equipment, borrow against equipment you already have. Every legitimate funding program you have access to. So if you have 401k, stocks, bonds, IRAs, if you have commercial real estate you want to refinance, right now we're helping clients finance the business, the building that they're in with no money out of pocket and keeping their payments the same. We're taking them out of a lease and putting them into a purchase with no change in payment, no money down. So we deal with private equity financing as well. We deal with commercial real estate. We deal with every SBA loans, alternative SBA loans. Our strategy here is pretty simple. We get you all the money you can get now. And since we work with every legitimate funding program, we're oftentimes getting clients 2, 3, 4 different kinds of funding. Then we help you understand and navigate through the process and what we call graduate to actual loans. In order to get term loans and lines of credit, you need good credit and financials. We help you with that so you understand what's needed to get there. Then we graduate our clients to SBA loans. So we take somebody and offer all the money you can get, which, by the way, we're only one of 3 sources in the entire country that works with every legitimate funding product. All the money you can get now. Then we improve your fundability, build your business credit. Then we help you get to term loans and low interest rate lines of credit. Then we help you graduate to SBA loans. To give you an example, we just got one of our clients a $350,000, one of our clients just got a $350,000 SBA loan, and his payment was about $4,000 a month for $350,000 because it's an 8% rate financed over 10 years. We're closing another one of those for $325,000 where the payment's like $3,300 or $3,400 a month. So that's what we do, is help you with every aspect of financing as well. And I don't have a bunch more time, but if you're interested in selling this as a product and service, we have this whole thing becomes white label. You can put your branding, your logo, sell this through your business as well. We give you all the training you actually need. There's a 7-step training program on everything you need to offer business credit and financing. You have a whole partner success team that helps you through the process of offering business credit and financing as well. So again, if you're interested in offering it as a service, we have everything we need to help you along the way, get training, even every resource you can imagine. So here's all the training on offering business credit financing and the resources. We have ebooks and guides and flyers, and as time permits, I'll show you some of these things, but you can kind of get an idea here of, let me kind of go in and see if I can find, for example, the interview and closing script. So let's go in here to flyers, for example. So I'll give you an example of the quality. All of our stuff is professionally done, and then it's all designed for you to be able to just come in and make it your own. So all of your contact information goes on there. So literally, it's like a business in a box, like a franchise, but without the hefty franchise fees. So you can see here that all of this is completely customizable, and you can see the quality of that. So that being said, here's one of our clients that got 4 approaches to get $417,000 to pay off a tax lien and was in the process of closing his practice. With credit issues, no collateral, several banks had already turned it down. Through multiple rounds of funding, he was able to get the money to pay off the IRS, expand his practice. He even made a run for public office, and today he's got over $1.5 million. This is a typical case study for us. Typical, everything changes based on your own qualifications. I have to say that for FTC purposes. But what happened with this guy is he had credit issues and couldn't get a loan at a bank. So he came to us and said, I need to shut down the practice. We said, why? He said, I need money. I said, well, let's look at it. The only way we were able to get him the money was piece together a bunch of different kinds of financing. But we were able to do that because we work with all legitimate types of financing. So again, a really good case study. So if you're watching this webinar on a computer, phone, or tablet, probably because you're looking for the easiest and fastest way to get money and credit to grow, and you probably have already struggled to get the money you need at good terms and haven't found a solution yet. So look, you now have a bunch of information. I talked to you today about everything you need to know about Dun Bradstreet, the steps to build your business credit, okay? And I've also talked to you about some different ways you can get funding as well. So then that way you actually have a lot of information from this webinar. Now, working with us might be a great fit for you. I think it could be. Why? Well, because we're helping you build that business credit for your EIN, not linked to your SSN, through the top selling business credit system. We've helped about 20,000 people on our quest to help 1 million by 2030. That is our company's life goal. Okay, or not our life goal, but through 2030, and get access to all funding in one place. We're one of only 3 companies in the country that even works with all funding and puts it into one place. Finance officers to help you through that process, do it in English and in Spanish. And we're giving you this cutting edge technology, our finance suite and our team. They're helping you meet these fundability requirements before you apply. We got to help you become more fundable. Do you know what SIC codes are risky and not risky? We go through all that with you. We help you set up the business entity and EIN the right way, set up your business address. We help you get listed with 411 and save you the 360, the website and email address set up, the licensing. We set up your merchant account. Again, we just partnered with LexisNexis. We are already pulling data from LexisNexis right now. And then we are actually building this year something our clients will have access to that will cross-check all your data against what LexisNexis has, which is what all the lenders are using. So that's the kind of technology that we use to help you become more fundable. We also help you get set up and activate your credit profiles with all 3 reporting agencies. DMB will charge you $1,500 and they'll tell you that it's to activate your credit profile. Okay, we help you do that without paying for it, and we help you get that DUNS number without spending that $1,500, and we help you fix inaccuracies. A lot of people get stuck because they have damaged business credit, don't know how to fix it. That's all part of our actual process. We also have the largest supply starter vendors because we create them. We help them get the ability to report. That means you can get vendor credit with creditors you're actually going to need. People that do website design and SEO services and, t-shirts and phone services. And we help you get credit that reports to all 3 reporting agencies. We help you get the store credit. You saw, you're never going to find more sources of retail credit than what you found with us. We have hundreds in our system that you can get without the PG and credit check. Hard to find cash credit. You saw pages of that as well. Fleet credit, auto vehicle financing without a personal guarantee and credit check. We help you with every step of that process. And again, without the credit check or without the guarantee. Cash flow financing, it's not based on consumer credit. Asset-based financing with rates as low as 2%. 0% financing for startups up to 150 grand. Private money, alternative SBA, venture capital, SBA loans. And we have this finance blueprint where we graduate you between loan categories to get you to an SBA loan. Look, everybody's not going to qualify for loans. To get a loan, you need credit, cash flow, or collateral. If you don't have any of the 3, no worries. We build your business credit while we're helping you with the others so you can qualify. Now, with our partner program, it's kind of like a franchise, but without the franchise fee. You're getting the basic training, exclusive webinars. So if you like my webinars, I do webinars you've never seen. They're only available for our clients. 5 years, every single week, except for a Christmas holiday. I do them and I've done them for 5 years. Everyone is accessible to our clients through our business vault. Today, I talked about retention. A whole hour of everything you need to know to retain customers. This is the kind of training we do. So it's not just relative to if you sell business credit financing. We talk about marketing plans and massive action plans. And we talk about retention. We talk about sales funnels, everything you need to know to run a successful business. You get a year's worth of email content, social media content. You get videos, webinars. You get PowerPoints, 20 PowerPoints, 10 articles, 6 marketing flyers. You're getting an 8-page website. Okay, you have 20 videos, webinars, 10 ebooks, 3 press releases, Spanish marketing, Premier Partner. We do all the selling for you. As a partner, you can sell it or have us sell it. You've got options, contracts and agreements, sales scripts, seminar assets, because so all of that comes, as well as we've even got an executive subscription with our partner if you choose to get it, where you can earn money with funding. We split the commissions on funding deals with your clients. Finance videos, flyers, a client dashboard to manage your clients, and finance marketing materials, my own marketing materials. All my webinars are available to all of our partners 2 months before I even release them. You can use my videos and PowerPoints before I even have them. You can onboard sales reps. You have special training for sales reps, resources for sales reps as well. So a lot of people are already asking what is involved here. Well, if you're getting started today as part of this webinar and through Friday only, then we're giving a discount and some special bonuses. I say rare because we don't do a lot of discounts. You know why? Nobody does what we do. Like, we're the only source that combines business credit and financing and has every legitimate financing in one place. And you actually have advisors that hold your hand and walk you through the process, and finance officers. It's the only place that all of this stuff exists. So we just don't typically discount, but you hung with me for an hour and a half. So if you go to our website, you can see that it's usually over $7,000 to enroll with us. And through this Friday, you've got one of two options. Option one, you're just building business credit and getting financing. You're not interested in selling it. You just want to get money for your business. And with that, you pay 7 payments of only $497. That's usually $597, and 1 payment of $24.97. We're giving you a 20% discount, which we normally don't do. If affordability is a concern, do not worry. Give me about 3 more minutes. I will talk about that as well. If you want to offer business credit and financing as a service and get it as well, well, then you can actually get involved with our VIP program, okay? Our VIP program is where you can actually come in and offer it as a service. It's only 7 payments of $597, only $100 more, or $34.97 1 payment there. So look, it's going to take you, we do this a lot. It's going to take you about 2 years plus to get to the same place that our clients get to in about 6 months. So what you have to do is you just have to simply ask yourself, what would 18 months of time having $20,000, $30,000 limit credit cards mean for your business? I can't answer that question, only you can. But here's the key. You don't have to decide between time and money. If you're doing this on your own, you're going to pay for credit monitoring. You're going to pay for your DUNS and activation of credit profile. You're going to pay for 411. We even have business valuations where at any given time you can see the value of your business, and all that's included. So it would literally cost you like 5 times more money to build this on your own. Think of it like this. Credit monitoring alone is $2,500 in your world. In my world, it's $300. So you save $2,200 a year just in credit monitoring, not to mention 411 savings and valuations and everything else you get. We try to add more in as extra bonuses than our system even costs, than what you'll do on your own. So again, it's even cheaper than doing it on your own, and it's substantially faster as well. So we will customize a payment plan for you. If the payments that I've shown you aren't affordable, don't enroll because it's too much money. Tell us, let us work with you. We've got programs that we don't even advertise on our website that may work perfectly for you. Okay, so we can customize payments that work for you. Okay, we work with places like Fundbox Pay. This is a way you can get money and spread it out over 12 months to make your payments affordable. We can help you get financing. Okay, we also offer off-site website issues as well. So again, does it make sense? Would you like to work with us? Does the technology and business advisors and working with me and my team, if that makes sense, don't miss out because you look at this and say you can't afford it. Do not do that, because there's all kinds of options that I don't have time to get into today that may work for you. Just give us a ring at 877-600-2487, and you get full access to everything even when you make the first payment. So it shifts the risk to us. Bottom line. Bottom line is that you come in, you get everything even when you make the first payment. We give it all to you because we want it to be risk-free. And if you feel that what you get isn't worth every penny, or that you're not going to be able to make many times what you spent, well, then you can cancel anytime within 30 days and get your money back. So look, we're rated one of the best entrepreneurial companies in America in 2018 by Entrepreneur Magazine. You can see this at creditsuite.com/credibility. Here is the link to Entrepreneur, or a look at Entrepreneur's page. Here's hundreds of approvals that we have on our website. I showed you some, but there are literally hundreds on our website. You can see that we're 5-star rated with Trustpilot. Not some reviews, but there's 113 reviews there. Here are the kind of comments that our clients are actually saying. And again, I'm not showing you these to read all these. I'm just showing you this because what you'll find is that when you go to places like Trustpilot, it's not just people leaving reviews, it's people that leave real comments. Here's another 138 reviews where we're 5 stars with So Tell Us as well. And again, you can see a lot of people leaving details of what they're getting. BBB A+, we are not accredited. We don't pay them any money, but we're never had a complaint, which is why we are there. You could see Entrepreneur Forbes. You can find out on our credibility page. You can also see a lot of these too, a lot of actual video testimonials to see what others say about us. So look, here is what you have to do to get enrolled. All you have to do is go to creditsuite.com/webinar. So it's creditsuite.com/webinar is where you're going to go. You'll see this page. You'll see bonuses, which I've yet to talk to you about, and the discount. You just simply click buy it now. And then it gives you several different options that you can actually choose payments with right here. Okay. And also, once you completed the order, you're going to immediately receive login credentials and be called shortly after. Now, I'm going to throw in another bonus here because you guys hung out, and I thought I was going to, but I'm not sure. And it's going to be a little weird because I didn't mean for this to happen, and I'll explain that to you in a second. First, I'm going to give you 30 minutes with our advisor right on the initial call. Guys, our advisors will spend 30 to 60 minutes with you. They're not customer support waiting for your call. Our team will call you 5 times the first 5 days and regularly after that. And here's why. The coaching is what helps you move along. Without the coaching, we found people just don't move as fast. So we're going to give you 30 minutes on an initial call with our advisors. We're going to give you 90 days of monitoring with D&B and Experian for only $24. Okay, 90 after that, 90 days. We're going to give you 90 days without paying for it. If you went to D&B Experian, it would be $200 to get Experian and D&B reports. It would be $600 for 90 days. I'm going to give you 90 days without paying for any of it. So you'll get free credit monitoring, save you $600. Here's another thing I'm going to do that I didn't plan on doing is that we now have this way to add accounts you already have to Experian and to Credit Safe. Okay, it's $99 a month, but if you want that instead of this, I'll do it. We'll give you 90 days of access to Experian, D&B, and Credit Safe business credit reports. We're also going to give you access to the ability to add accounts to your Experian and Credit Safe credit reports, including utilities like water, electric, gas, power, internet. Okay, and all of that is usually $100. I'm going to do it for 3 months at no cost. Again, if you were just to get the monitoring from D&B Experian, you'd spend about $2,200 on that. So you're getting the monitoring and Credit Safe monitoring and the ability to add accounts for a fraction, for even less than half of what they charge for monitoring alone. So we're going to do that. But even if you don't want that, we still give you 90 days of monitoring without paying for it. And now you can actually add utilities to your business credit account. So even if you're working from home, if you're using those accounts for a business-based business, think about that. Business credit building is about the number of trades you have. Imagine if you add your gas, your water, your electric, your internet, your cell phone, how many trades you instantly have out the gate. Well, we're going to help you do that as part of this as well. But again, work with us because I didn't build that into the automation. So if you're talking to our advising team and you enroll and you want that versus the regular $24 monitoring, just let us know and we'll get you access for 90 days. 28-page business valuation report tells you how much your business is actually worth and everything you need to do to increase the value, and a ready to publish book. It's my book, and I've went ahead and given you publishing rights. And the reason is because if you're anything to do with financial services or in a lot of industries, being a published author gives you a ton of credibility. So we're going to do that. And I've got a great friend of mine who's one of the leaders in education for real estate, and he's got a great one on a book on how to invest in small apartments. It's a physical book and not like some ebook, and I'm going to throw that in and give that to you for free as well. So remember, to recap, you get your own system with 24/7 access, concierge advising services, free DUNS and credit file activation that they'll charge $1,500 for, largest supply of vendor sources, store credit, fleet credit, all without the personal guarantee and credit check, help you fix inaccuracies with all 3 reporting agencies, get auto vehicle financing with no personal guarantee, get credit monitoring for only $24. And now I'm giving you 90 days without even paying for it, which saves you $600. And again, it saves you $2,200 a year from what you pay with the credit bureaus direct. Cash flow and collateral based financing with low rates, startup financing where you can get up to 150 grand, finance officer support, free 411 listing, cash credit. We're improving your fundability. Okay, and don't forget, with our partner program, we basically give you everything you need to be successful, basically a franchise without the awesome franchise or without the horrible franchise fees. And then the bonuses as well, which, let's be honest, the bonuses are more than your enrollment is, not even to mention everything else that you're getting. So it becomes cheaper, faster for you to work with us. Don't forget our guarantee. We'll give you 100% of your money back. How do you know we will? Well, we have hundreds of reviews and no complaints. So if we were ripping people off and not doing what we said we could do, and we were not giving people back their money if they wanted it, you'd probably see some complaints. But since there is none, pretty good evidence of what we're doing works. And again, the website to go to is creditsuite.com/webinar. For some reason, I do not have that here, and you need to have it because there's a special link that you need to have there. And if you don't have that link, then the problem is that that you won't be able to get the bonuses and the discount. creditsuite.com/webinar. Okay, so there it is. So I'm going to go ahead and make that bold too on here. Let's see if I can bold that, and then I'll make that big so everybody can actually see that. And then I'm going to jump in, and as I promised you all, I'm going to open this up to questions and make sure that your questions are answered. So that's where you'll go. And again, you can choose between our programs. The core is to build business credit and financing. The VIP is to get all of that for your business. So I'm going to go ahead right now, and I am going to answer questions. I don't know if I can get to everybody's question. I'm going to try, though. Okay, but if not, I will make sure that we follow up with you and give you a call and talk to you a little bit more. Okay, so it's supposed to be, never mind. Okay, got it. There was some audio. We talked about that a little bit. Okay, the webinar is recorded, and everybody that stayed this long, you already get a playback. I'll send you that playback tomorrow, just so you know. I'm offering this as clients. We did talk about that as well. All I need is one card. How do I get just one? I would benefit mostly from Staples, Amazon. But the problem is, Susie, you can, as you now know, you can't just go get a Staples credit card with no personal guarantee and credit check. The reason Staples will give you a credit card with no personal guarantee and credit check is because you've done the steps up to that point. You built the fundability, you got the initial accounts. You're going to have more revolving accounts before you get to Staples. You can't just walk in and get any kind of credit card without a personal guarantee and credit check. Skipping steps is one of the reasons people get denied. So you've got to build a credit profile that's worthy enough for them to give you the credit. That's what this is really all about. Okay. What's going to be the amounts needed to spend? And again, usually we say all this in our underwriting guidelines, John, how much you need to spend with each source. But Uline and Quill are about the only ones that you want to spend $100 with to make sure you're okay. The rest of them don't really have those requirements. But anyone that does as a client, we tell you that. But if you're not a client, you just need to be aware of Uline and Quill. Those are probably ones that you need to look out for. Can I get a replay? We talked about that. What are 5 examples of tier 1? We definitely looked at more than 5 examples when I actually walked you through. I showed you quite a few examples of those. And let me go down here. I got a lot of yeses here. I was stuck in traffic. We will send you that replay if you're here to the end. How do you fix DMB errors? It's through a service called iUpdate. DMB has a service called iUpdate that you can go through to correct inaccuracies on your business credit report. That's how we're actually able to do that. Where are people able to put a home or car in their business name? Well, anybody can do that. If you want to put a car and home in your business name, your accountant can even help you with that. Where do we see creditor requirements? I did show you that as well. I know this question was asked before that. How much we talked about that as well. I have a trucking business. That's awesome. Congratulations. Can we use enterprise if in corp or LLC status? I think I understand your question. The answer is yes. Greg asked 14 trades and a high paydex score on DMB, but lower Experian Telescore. Chances of approval with Sam's Club? I'd have to actually look at our own system to see who Sam's uses, but it depends on what's causing the Experian and Telescore to be low. But if you've got the 14 trades across from all reporting agencies, you should be okay with Sam's. I just can't guarantee that you'll get their MasterCard. You'll probably get their store card at least, but you should be able to. If you've got one with at least a high of $10,000, you maybe even get their MasterCard. I'm trying to buy a business by getting a loan on the business while the current owners own it. How can I figure that out? We will work with you on that. You can give us a phone call right now, 877-600-2487. This is very common, and this is usually used for SBA loans. You get an SBA loan, you use the assets of the business to qualify to buy the business. Very, very, very typical thing that happens with business purchases. Then we use the assets of the business to help you qualify. Just give us a ring, 877-600-2487, and our finance team can help you with that. Apply for, we already went through a lot of those starter vendors. We talked about Uline, we talked about Quill, we talked about Granger, we talked about Gimplers. We even looked at strategic network solutions, and I showed you a bunch for our clients as well. How about secured collateral loans on deeds of trust, free and clear, title with 100% equity? If so, I went in partnership. I'm not sure if we have that kind of funding program. That's not a funding program I'm familiar with. But then again, I'm only familiar with a fraction of the funding that our finance team offers. So my best advice, Troy, now is give us a call, 877-600-2487. You could talk to our finance team, and our finance team will tell you about if we have that. I can tell you I haven't heard of this kind of financing, but I can't tell you definitively. It's worth a call for us just to find out. With store credit, can I get an item from the store, get the invoice, then bring the item back to the store? Would I get credit as if I paid for the item? Can I build business credit that way? No. I'm just going to answer it no, because you're trying to hack the system. I'm not here to try to teach people how to hack the system and hurt credit issuers. It's pretty shady, to be honest with you. The reality is you're building business credit to get business credit. If your goal is to go buy a bunch of stuff that you don't need, then take it back just to try to fake your way. It's just unethical. So no, I'm going to say that that's absolutely not possible. And the reality is you're not going to get anywhere with this. You have to build your business credit by getting credit you're actually going to use. You're trying to fake it and act like you're using the credit and not using it. Your limits will never be high enough to move up the tiers if you're trying to do it that way. What if I have two businesses? Yep, the same thing. You follow the same steps. Marlin, you saw from many of our clients, they all have multiple businesses. Once they figure this out with us, they build the same business credit with multiple businesses. It's why they're getting to over $1 million in credit. I've been using personal credit cards for business expenses. No worries, it happens. What is a good business credit card to apply for that will report to the business credit reporting agencies and not my personal report? Depends on credit quality. That's really what it comes down to. Every credit issuer offers one of those kind of cards. They're not easy to figure it out. You just have to ask them. So, Barclays offers one, Bank of America offers them, Wells Fargo offers them. The major banks do. Just when you talk to them, if you're trying to do this on your own, you want to make sure that they know that you want to get the account that only reports to the business reporting agency. And if you're dealing with somebody on the front end of that call that knows what they're doing, they should be able to help you. What's the lowest payment plan? Our lowest payment plan, as you can see on our website, is typically, and you can come right here and check this out. It's typically $597 is the lowest. With this, it's only $497. If that's not affordable, then again, just give us a call. Okay, send us an email. We will work with you. We customize payment plans for our clients. So if $497 is not low enough for you, then we've got other options that are on our website, and we'll work with you as well. Just give us a call, and we'll definitely help you with that. It's one new business and one business. Yeah, that's been around. You can still do this with multiple businesses. I've done like 50% of what you show. Sure, give us a call. We'll talk to you about it. Ralph, look, a lot of people come to me with the same thing. Do I have to pay full price if I've done part of the work? And then they come in and they don't have trade lines. The very first thing we're going to ask you and we'll do is get your business credit reports and see how many trade lines you have. If you're saying you've done half the work, really the work starts with getting vendor credit. The fundability stuff isn't even really the work. So if you set up your business credible, that's only the beginning part of the process. You're not even to the business credit building. So sure, we'll work out a discount if you've already got 5-10 trades reporting. So let us know. Give us a call. Let's see the work you've done, and then I can better answer that question. Can I build credit for multiple companies? We talked about that. Verizon gave me faulty equipment. I returned it and have a huge bill. Please help me fix it. I'm not sure how to fix that. Verizon, you got to go to them directly with that and work that out. I'm not even sure how I could help you fix such a thing. You have to work that out with them directly. Just really need to succeed this. We've been in business for 6 months, have grossed over 180. That's awesome, man. Congratulations. And can supply a cosigner. Can we get access to cash flow financing or line of credit? Yeah, you sure can. I mean, look, business credit building is part of a way to get financing. If you have somebody with good credit, that opens up credit lines that also help you build business credit. You can also get revenue financing based on the $180,000 in revenue you've already done. There also might be asset or collateral based financing. So feel free to give us a ring, 877-600-2487. We'll talk about your individual scenario. how much money you're looking for, and we'll talk to you about all the options you have, just so you know. And again, the lowest payments, look, it just depends on every situation. We've got multiple different programs. There's so many variables. Just give us a ring and we will figure this out with you on a one-on-one. Post office gave me a physical address I can use. Is a virtual better? I've never in my life heard of a PO of the post office giving you a real physical business address. So I would question that. I would check that, because even if it's an address like UPS that looks like a regular address, it's still if it's still a a box address, you're still going to have issues. If it's not a postal box, you're fine. If it's actually a postal box you get the mail in, you should consider virtual. I have a DMB number, but I keep getting calls saying my profile is incomplete. The reasons say missing information. All they're trying to do is sell you something. And yes, it happens all the time. Never take a call or email from DMB unless you want to be sold. And for the record, they're very good salespeople. I want to start a business, but I'm not sure what name I should use. Well, again, as a client, we help you through every aspect of starting the business, including avoiding high risk SIC or NAICS codes. If you are not a client and want to figure this out, you could do some basic research online. Even go to our YouTube channel, and we've done some training that talks a little bit more. Actually, I just did training on Facebook Live that I think should be on YouTube, where we talked about some of the higher risk NAICS codes you should be aware of. What about the international clients with Delaware companies and an EIN? Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't matter if you're in the United States or not. If you have a business in the United States, you can still build business credit. You can't get financing, though, without the social, just so you know. How long will the special be available? Through Friday. So through Friday at 12 midnight, you'll get emails with the replay, you'll get notices, and then at that, it's done. So if you want to get the bonuses, if you want to also have the ability, we're also closing down the ability to add accounts to Experian and Credit Safe, to add your utilities. The reason for that is it's a beta. This is brand new, never been done. We're bringing in 100 clients and we shut it down. And then nobody else can get in. We started at 50 and then we needed more data. So what we're doing is we're shutting that down. So through the end of Friday, you have all of this access, and through that, then the bonus, you can still enroll with us. You just don't get the discount. You don't get the bonuses. You don't get the ability to add accounts using to Experian utilities, stuff like that. How does a virtual office setup work? It's pretty simple. They own virtual companies like Alliance own really big buildings, and they rent the space out for different reasons. Some people like rent and lease normal space. Then they have some people that just rent the address. You have an address you can use there. They get your mail there, and then they mail it back to you, and they even email it and scan it to you and email it. So what happens? You have the address of a big high-rise building in Tampa, Florida, but the reality is you're only using that for mail. That's how virtual addresses work. I also get a notification in the mail too. Yep, it's all DMB. It's all a scam. Like I said, email, phone, and mail. Never call them unless you want to be sold. It's all they're ever trying to do. It's not Dun Bradstreet, for the record. It's a unit of Dun Bradstreet called Dun Bradstreet Credibility, and all they do is sell credit monitoring, and that's what they're trying to sell you. Looking for partner offer, have some building blocks in place, may need some help in jiggering advice on my SIC, current use of home address change, figure to pay this for business credit for myself through offering to share the knowledge. Well, that's really what it comes down to. I mean, based on what you're saying, you're talking about a bunch of stuff that makes you non-fundable. Again, we help you through that whole process, Kenneth, of becoming more fundable. This can be applied to the state. Yep, this works in every state. And this can be applied in the state of California. Yeah, works for every state. I was denied from Sam's Club because they said they don't have enough information about my company. Yep, that's because you're applying for Sam's Club because you don't have enough accounts reporting on your business credit reports yet. That's why. And you'll always get denied. If you don't follow the steps I outlined and have enough accounts to apply for Sam's, you will get denied. How can you establish a startup with no income? A business credit. If you're a startup, well, look, there's 3 ways you can get cash, money, financing. You can either use collateral, cash flow, or credit. A startup doesn't have cash flow. So you can still get financing based on assets and collateral, 401k, IRA, stocks, bonds. You can still get financing based on good credit of you or a guarantor, and you can still build business credit. All the stuff I showed you today becomes available. Those are ways you can do it. I had a company that was helping me, but is taking them for over a year. Yeah, Ralph, TrueBuild probably is the one that's helping you. Look, I know Mike at TrueBuild. Mike and I just spent an hour on the phone last week. Their model's different than us. They try to do it for you, but what you're describing as a constant complaint is that about a year in, you've only got 2 or 3 accounts reporting. It's very common with them. That's why you don't want to try to hire people to build your business credit. You want to get the system to get it done as fast as possible. Our clients are getting to cash credit stage in 6 months, but I imagine that's who you're with. And if so, we will give you a discount to get enrolled and get results. And by the way, just so you know, Christine, who had over $1 million now in approvals, she also got started with them as well. And in her testimonial, she will tell you that she got 10x more credit in 3 months than she did in a year. So that's just part of the game. So we can help you with that, and we'll give you even a discount to make sure that it makes sense, since you probably already paid a company to do it. Can you help me start a cannabis dispensary? Yep, we absolutely can. We have lenders that are drooling to help that industry. We do a lot for the cannabis industry because we have a lot of lenders that specialize in funding for that industry, not to mention that a lot of our funding doesn't have industry specifications or restrictions, nor does business credit, just so you know that. Do business credit reports reflect the high credit limit? They don't. They reflect the highest credit amount you've used, not your limits. Credit issuers and lenders see your limits, but all your reports will show you is the recent amount of credit you've used. Great question. Good, got 3 trade lines, but can't get anything done as far as loans. Please help. Well, business, look, 3 trade lines won't get you loans at all. If you want to get loans, you're going to need cash flow credit or collateral. Your business credit can be used to get you loans, but you'd have to have a lot more established than 3 trade lines. You don't even have enough trade lines to get a revolving credit card yet. So it really comes down to us helping you focus on cash flow credit or collateral. What's your strength? The second thing is that also you need to build more trades. You need a lot more trades to get the funding it sounds like you're trying to get. I hear different things about when to pay invoices, even when speaking to the credit departments of vendors. I want the payments to report early. Some say pay before the due date. Some say they report whenever you pay. What's the best rule? Scott, here it is. It's this simple. If you pay a bill before the item is what's called quote unquote fulfilled, then it will not report. So let's say, for example, that I order stuff with Quill and then I immediately go online and pay. That will be considered to be a cash transaction, even though I bought it initially on credit because I paid before they fulfilled or shipped the item. So the rule of thumb is never pay before you ship. You have to ship. It has to ship to be considered credit. Pay it as soon as you can after it ships. Uline and Quill will let me pay instantly. As the minute it ships, I can pay. Staples and Office Depot will not let me pay until they generate a statement for me. So even after the item ships, I try to go to Staples and pay. There's nothing to pay. I can't pay till they generate a statement. So pay as soon as you can after the item ships. With some sources, it won't be until they create the invoice in their system. You guys will help with the steps. Yep, we help with every step along the way. Our technology, look, to be honest, you don't even need our advisors. Our technology, as you see, is so step by step, so basic. Here's a 2-minute video on this, 4-minute video. Do this in order. You'd be fine. But our advisors are there to call you. They'll spend 30, 60 minutes with you on that initial call, especially as part of this webinar. They'll call you 5 times in the first 5 days. They're calling you regularly after that. That is all to help you through the process because, look, you're going to have all kinds of questions. And if you get stuck, where do you go? That's where people fail. They come to a webinar and they go, hey, I know now how to do this. I'm going to go do it. Well, what happens when you go to get your DUNS number and a month passes and it doesn't come? What do you do then? How many accounts do you need to get Sam's Club? There's a million questions you're going to have along the way. And if you don't know these answers, that's what takes so much time. As a partner, do we offer this platform to clients? Yes. And if they get funding, we split all the commissions with Credit Suite. Yeah, that's right. We have what's called an executive program. It's $99 a month. It's voluntary as a partner. You could pay it or not pay it. You get a bunch of extra advantages if you do pay it. One of the extra advantages you get is we just split fees on funding. If we get somebody a deal and we get paid $2,000 in commissions, you make $1,000, we make $1,000, and the average commission on those deals is about $2,000. So how we make revenue is what you're asking. Okay, I'll tell you exactly how that works. So here's how that works. This is a system called the Business Finance Suite. Okay, the Finance Suite your customers will have access to has the Business Credit Builder, the valuation here, which I never showed you that, but I can actually come through and get the valuations of the business as well. Okay, and then on top of that, it also has the Finance My Business, the sales reps commissions. That's only available in your system. You sell the system, your logo, your branding, white label. You pay $700, 500 to 700 wholesale for this. So that means if you buy in bulk, you can get it as low as 500 bucks. If you're buying one at a time, it's 700 bucks. That's how much you spend. And then you're going to retail it for 25 to 3,500. You're going to sell the system for 25, 3,500. You're going to spend 5 to 700 wholesale. Your profit's about 2,200 bucks average per every sale you make. Okay. And then you can also get paid half of the funding as well, adding back end commissions. That's how it works. Okay. Now there's all different kind of ways to do this. We'll get on a 3-way call and help you close sales. We can help. You can just refer the customer to us, make a little less money. We do every bit of the work for you. You can go through your basic training here and we teach you exactly how to sell it through the actual basic training. So you have plenty of options once you're in. You want us to close it with you, for you? Do you want to close it? And just give you the training of how to do so. Any of those things become available. So you have all different kind of options. We even have on our website, I don't think we have it here. Nope, not even going to talk about it. We have another program too where you have your own CRM and all this other stuff. It's all of our sales funnels and all that stuff we pre-build for you in your own CRM. I mean, the whole thing is set up. Like we have our ultimate program if you're getting started with that. And again, if you're interested in offering this, just talk to our team about ultimate. We have a CRM through Active Campaign where all of our campaigns, landing pages, website, boom, it's all there. It's auto set up for you. We even set up the logic where when somebody clicks, they get points. When they have so many points, we generate a lead to you. We generate sales webinars to them. All of that can be set up. So that's how our partner program works. But our VIP program gives you everything you need to sell it. And if you want to take it to even another level, then let us know. We'll talk to you a little bit more about Ultimate. But that's how you actually make money with that, just to answer your question. I have a company that's been up for 4 years, but no income. Keep up the SOS registration. It's a good thing. A seasoned business is only going to help you. Selling final expense life insurance as it can be applied. Well, your life insurance is high risk, but don't worry, I am too. Anybody in financial services is high risk. Insurance, mortgage brokers, bankers, credit repair, accountants, attorneys, anybody in that area is considered to be high risk. You're still going to be fine to build business credit. As a matter of fact, we have insurance financing just for your industry, just so you know that. We have what's called book of business financing, which only works for insurance agents and brokers. We'll talk to you a little bit more about that. Feel free to give us a call. Can I use a mixed use property when I'm leasing a storefront? Yep, you absolutely can. Business partner, is any special licenses requested? Nope, because we have the licenses. We have all the licenses that are needed across the country, and you are basically considered to be selling software. So we have the licenses, so you don't need to. Okay. Is this membership lifetime? Yes, I think you're asking about the webinar, and that's the answer to that is yes. That's awesome. So I think I've answered most of these questions that I see. There's still going to be more that trickle in. And guys, if you have more questions, don't worry. I'm still going to answer probably a handful more before we wrap up. And then we will call you, and you can call us and email us and ask us any questions you have. 877-600-2487, info@creditsuite.com. Email or call us, and we will answer any and all questions that you have. If I haven't got a chance to answer them, I'm still going to wrap up and answer probably a handful more before I do wrap up. So now, my goal is you came to a training and you learned 10 secrets that building business credit with D&B. I showed you how to build business credit with each of the reporting agencies, let you in on some things that are coming up in 2019. I revealed enough for you to take this on your own if you'd like to take on that challenge. And then I've also talked to you a lot about working with us, and I'd love to have that opportunity. Okay. We have an amazing reputation in the space. You don't help 20,000 people build business credit with 0 complaints for a reason. I hope that says a lot, right? Like, we do what we say we're going to do. And if you're not happy, boom, here's your money back. You know why we do that? We do not want to work with people that are not committed. Even though I'm breaking this down and simplifying it, this isn't a simple thing. It's a process. If you're committed to the process, we'll help you succeed. You'll never need to look anywhere else for money again, period. We work with every legitimate funding program. We get volume discounts from all the lenders. When you need money, you call your team. Your finance team goes to work with all the funding you can qualify for, peer-to-peer lending, all the stuff most people don't even know about. Okay. And we help you every step along the way of building business credit. Our specialty is getting you the most money quickly. And we do so by improving that fundability, by building the business credit, by getting you access to loans and credit lines. We're the only source that does all of those things. And the reality is we're very conscientious to make sure that it costs you basically no money to work with us. If you look at the fact that you get business valuations whenever you want it, you don't pay for 411 listing, you don't pay the premium for credit monitoring, you don't pay to activate your credit profile. If you look at all the stuff we give you as part of our program at absolutely no cost, you will spend more money on those things than it even costs to enroll with us. So the bottom line is you could do this on your own, take 5 times, 4 times as much time to get a fraction of the results that our clients get, and spend more because you're paying for all this extra crap you don't need. DMB selling you stuff. You're buying all this other stuff that you just don't need. With us, we're giving you so much value and so many things that are expensive in this process for free or at a discount that you're able to come in and do this cheaper with us than without. And we expedite the results for you radically. And beyond that, we're giving you access to things that you're not going to have elsewhere. Like our ability to now start linking with LexisNexis and us linking to Secretary of State records and telling you all these discrepancies. These things are things that you're not going to do on your own. Okay, the ability to now add accounts to your business credit reports, including your utilities. This is brand new. This never even existed before. Okay, so we are on the forefront of doing things that help make it easier than ever for you to get money for your business. And as all of these things continue to roll out, all of our clients are the very first ones anywhere to get access to them. Okay, our fundability score will be the first front-facing score LexisNexis has ever had. If you don't know who LexisNexis is, they're the ones that a lot of the reporting agencies are getting their data from. They're one of those 4 vendors that work with the Small Business Finance Exchange where they're getting that information and credit bureaus are getting it from them. So we're going to the place the credit bureaus or the lenders and credit issuers are getting their data from, and making sure that everything in your business is congruent to make sure you're fundable. Then we continue to work with all of these lenders. We're working with Angel Investor Network to incorporate angel investing into our system. So you have more and more and more access to funding. We're incorporating peer-to-peer lending, brand new to the scene, easier to qualify than any kind of SBA loan with fantastic terms. And again, we continue to add more and more and more business credit sources, giving you underwriting guidelines for everyone with advisors that literally hold your hand, and maybe not literally, but hold your hand and provide you concierge white glove treatment through this process. This is the reason we are A+ rated. It's the reason we're 5-star rated. It's the reason Entrepreneur Magazine just named us as one of the best entrepreneurial companies of the year for 2018. Okay, is because we do these things. We do them really well to help you, and we have a great reputation of doing so. And the reality is, if you get started with us and it doesn't work, no big deal. You get your money back. Boom, here's your money back. Okay, we do not want to work with people that aren't committed, but if you are committed, we'll help radically expedite your business credit building, and we'll help you get access to more business credit than you probably ever get on your own. And at the exact same time, we're going to help you access more financing than you're ever able to on your own. And then at 6 months down the road, a year down the road, a year and a half down the road, when you need more money, we're there to help you with all of that as well. So I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to answer maybe a handful of more questions. And somebody says, is this a membership a lifetime? Yes, it is. So when you get started with us, that's it. You pay, you're done. You're in. Okay. Now, again, if you're VIP, you could choose to pay a $99 executive fee to get more benefits. But once you pay your enrollment, you're in. You have lifetime access. Our advisors will actually be available to you for at least a year. That's all you need them. And our finance officers are available to you indefinitely. Can you fix late payments? Yes, we can. That's part of our process. Thank you so much. You're awesome. Oh, I saw you in LA, the Credit Repair Cloud Expo. That's awesome. I appreciate you seeing me there. Hopefully I'll see you next year. We are going to a bunch of events this year, and I will be at Credit Repair Cloud, and we're also doing a Credit Fest. We're actually going to have a full day in Credit Fest in Miami, so look out for that. If you have no sales, how can I build the credit even with the 4 years established? I need to find a better marketing strategy, but no funds to do so. We can. I mean, Mary, that's what we help you do. And if you're a partner with us, we teach you everything to do about marketing, Facebook ads, Google ads. We teach you podcast advertising. Right now, we're testing TV, radio. We're doing all this, and we teach our clients how to do all these things as well. But again, There may be some funding you can get right now based on collateral or credit, or maybe business credit's better. But either way, yes, the answer is that we absolutely can help you. And yeah, the cost is a lifetime payment. You never need to pay that again. We'll call someone tomorrow to get more info. That's awesome. Very good job explaining. Thank you very much. I'm opening a restaurant. Congratulations, Diego. That's awesome. Is that a bad thing for my SIC code? It's not. It's not. It is looked at by. Excuse me. Restaurants are high risk. Yes, one of the highest risk industries because the default rate of restaurants is so high. But we have a lot of financing that's specialized for people in that industry. So again, I don't expect you just to watch this and spend thousands of dollars. Give us a call. 877-600-2487. Talk to our team. Let's see what we can do to help you. Let's talk about your individual scenario. Let's work out more affordable payments if that helps you. Give us an email, info@creditsuite.com. Remember, this special will be available through Friday, and you're getting some pretty cool bonuses. 90 days of credit monitoring. It's $600 from the reporting agencies you're getting for free. I'm giving you a business valuation worth like $600. Okay, you're able to come in, get 30 minutes with our team. You're able to come in and get your own book ready to publish. You're able to get a guide if you're into real estate investing on how to buy apartments, okay, as well as I'm even getting you access for 90 days if you want it to actually add accounts to your business credit reports, including utilities. This is the first time ever. You'll literally be one of the first 100 people in the entire world to add utilities to your business credit reports, okay? It's going to be a whole, I've said this to my team 100 times. This is the biggest game changer to the business credit industry that I've seen since I got in this space nearly a decade ago. Literally, I've not seen a big of a shift as giving you the ability to add accounts you already have to your Experian and credit safe reports. Because let's be honest, water, electric, gas, we all have those. Those are bills every one of us has. And if we can all use 5 or 6 trades to boom, get on our credit report within 30 days, you can imagine how fast that expedites this entire process. I can't talk to you about how big of an impact that is. And not only can you get in on that beta, but it's free, 90 days. You don't have to pay for the thing. It's completely free. And part of that 90 days gives you Experian and Credit Safe and Dun Bradstreet monitoring as well, completely free for 90 days. So really cool bonus that I think you guys will enjoy. So I'm going to wrap this up. Nice webinar. Hi, Ty. If you have several businesses, is it still the one fee? Yeah, you can do this for multiple businesses. You can only enter one business in at a time, but you can follow the steps for multiple businesses. Almost all of our top clients end up doing so. If you have any other questions, I don't want to leave you hanging. All you have to do is give us a ring, 877-600-2487, info@creditsuite.com. We will make sure that your questions are answered. And also make sure you visit creditsuite.com/webinar to take advantage, grab the bonuses. And again, you will not see the 90 days of monitoring to add utilities because I told you, I just decided to do this last minute. You will see the 90-day bonus for the Experian and D&B credit monitoring. But if you want to come in and get the 90 days to add credit reports, I'm going to notify our team that I authorize this, and you're just going to have to let us know. When our advisors call, let us know. We'll get you set up with that versus the regular monitoring. That's just something I threw in. I just wasn't sure because I'm pretty pumped about this, but we're still limiting the amount of people coming in as we start to verify all these accounts hitting the credit reports, which has been happening. So anything like that, let us know. creditsuite.com/webinar to get started. 877-600-2487, info@creditsuite.com. As promised, tomorrow I will send you a replay of this webinar. If you have any questions before then, please reach out to us and let us know. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thanks everybody for taking the time to tune in. My goal is that you get a lot of quality information you can walk away with and take action, even if you don't decide to work with us. And of course, I'd love to have the honor and opportunity to work with you and help you access capital. We do what we do because we are so passionate, and what we realize is that if you have money, you can do amazing things. We get the luxury of seeing that happen every day. That's why our goal is to help 1 million business owners by 2030. We love for you to be one of those clients that we can help along the way. So again, don't forget as well, we've got our partner program where you can make money offering business credit financing. Even one sale basically will cover most of your enrollment. So if you know anybody that's interested in business credit financing, you could easily pay for this as soon as you get started with our partner program as well. So any other questions, please reach out to us and let us know. Thanks everybody very much for taking the time to tune in. I hope you all have a great day, and let us know what we can do on our end to help or any questions that you may have. Look forward to working with you. Thanks everybody. Have a great day.